Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Another week, another historic PLE for World Wrestling Entertainment after a tremendous weekend at Bash in Berlin. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pro Wrestling World Talks. I am your host, Daniel Burke, and I am joined again by my hetero life mate, my best friend for over 20 years, and my co-host, Mac. Thanks again for joining us.
Greetings and salutations.
As always, my friend.
As always. Yeah, what a weekend for WWE. Even, what a 8 days for them, really.
Well, yes. The news for them just seems to keeps getting better. Even though there was some a lawsuit that has been filed against them tonight, Cody Rhodes and Fanatics over the American Nightmare trademark. That will be an interesting kind of fight to go with. Of course, though, that'll probably be like a quick little money exchange, and because let's face it, pal, you're going up against a giant machine, and somebody that'll be willing also to probably give you I just love the fact now that he's come out of the woodwork now, when he has been using this since 2017, 2018-ish. Now, all of a sudden, because he's big time, now you go after him. And that's the part that's annoying.
It's not even that. How long has this actually been a thing, too? Let's go back to WCW when Dustin was using it, too.
Yes, he was.
Dustin was the original American Nightmare. So I don't know what this whole shit is about, in my opinion. I don't think it's really worth the time.
It really isn't. This is going to be something, I think, it's just somebody wants a check. They'll get one. Probably not as much as they think they're going to. It'll probably be a quick settlement deal, which really will be a drop in the bucket, considering the fact of the WWE is just a money-making machine, as they broke their indoor arena record again for the third time, fourth time this year at Berlin. And another historic gate, another historic weekend, another. It's just, I feel like that DJ, another one. That is
banger after banger after banger after banger.
They have been a literal machine as far as printing money is concerned. And the fact is that they are the hottest property, maybe, in television that does not include the NFL, NBA, and, just because of the fact of the consistent ratings that they have gotten. In fact, the rumors have been really going the last few days, especially tonight. It is being heavily reported that WWE will be returning to NBC this coming December on a Saturday night. You know what that means, folks. It's coming back. Welcome to Saturday night's main event here on NBC. That's right, folks. Saturday night's main event will be announced in the next coming days. Tickets will be going on sale next Friday. How about that? Another network going after them. They will probably do solid numbers on this event. They're going to be now on CW coming this fall. They're going to be on SmackDown SmackDown's going to be on USA this coming fall, moving from Fox Networks. And then now in December, they will be on NBC for Saturday night's main event. Is it going to be a quarterly deal? Is it going to be an every week thing? Is it going to be a monthly thing? We don't know at this point. If the numbers are good, there could be some future in that. The question is, too, what's the time slot going to be? Is it going to be live? Because when they brought it back in the mid to late 2000s, I was pretty excited about it. Until I found out that it was going to be on at 10 o'clock, or actually 11:30. They were doing the same thing that they kind of did in the 80s, where it was a replacement for Saturday night's main event. And we pre-taped it after a live Raw. It's I have no reason to watch this then. And that seemed to be the consistent problem when they would do those specials. AEW does the same thing right now with Battle for the Belts, where it's like sandwiched in with other shows, kind of made it meaningless, which I felt like when WWE brought back Saturday Night's Main Event in the 2000s, they made it meaningless. Now, however, under a new regime, under a creative director who seems to have his finger on the pulse as far as creativity is concerned, and also pop culture, I believe he is now going to make this special again. I feel like it is going to be like the 80s again, the early 90s, where it's going to feel special and just not another, another show that will, we're going to give it some pretty marquee matches, but not in anything groundbreaking. Yeah. But I feel like now it could be different. Mac, what do you think?
No, I agree. I think it's a great opportunity for them. They can make this a monthly thing, as you said. They can do any number of things, really, that I think would really apply to them and increase the market share of events like this. We've talked about this in the past, where they're currently doing mostly Saturday PLEs, where back in the day it was always Sundays. So for me, it's like, all right, this is not bad. This is a good idea. Are they going to kind of run with it? Are they going to do kind of like you said and piss it away? I don't know. I hope for the best, obviously, because more wrestling, more that you can watch is not going to be a bad thing. I know people can throw their comments out about that as much as they would like to, but listen, it is the truth. We're entering this kind of renaissance era of wrestling, especially in WWE, and they have great market share already. I think some of the problems that they have are not production related, are not talent related. It's producing maybe what I would say, credible heels. I think that is potentially a problem for them right now. Because you look at guys that used to be heels, Damian Priest, Roman Reigns, a lot of other guys. Drew is really not a heel in my opinion. He's more of like
True. He's not a heel.
Yeah, he's not.
He's in the gray area.
Yeah, I mean he has heel tactics, but I wouldn't consider him a heel. And there are a lot of guys that fall into that category. Like Waller and Theory, I don't feel are credible heels. I'll say it that way.
Dominic Mysterio is the only credible heel in that company.
I mean, I'm not going to say he's credible. He's the only legit heel, maybe, though. Douchebag Dom.
He doesn't even have to have a match, and he's already the most hated guy in that company.
I know.
He doesn't have to even have, he's in a perfect position right now where it's just like, I don't even need to get in the ring. Like, they just hate my ass.
Yeah. It's, we talk about credible heels. One guy who I know there are fully different ends of the spectrum for opinions on this guy, but Karrion Kross is another one where if he won against the New Day, I would have figured, okay, successful. Okay, you're credible now. You've made it a point to reinvent yourself and all this other stuff. But then he lost. And I'm just like, okay. And then Odyssey Jones got fired. So then there's that too. So maybe there's a part of that was a little bit true for the I don't know. It depends how you look at it. It's that's the only problem with WWE right now. I feel like is there's a lack of credible heels. However, again, we are in this Renaissance era. We're getting different booking, and it's impactful. It's engaging. Next week on Raw, we're going to have an 8-man tag match or a mixed tag match. They're pumping on all cylinders at this point. Even the stuff that it's a slow build or burn, it's working for them. So to have something that is in the mainstream that worked for them in the past, even though the first revival didn't work, Saturday Night Main Event has such a history to it that if they can make this work, it could be, whether it be a bi-weekly, a monthly, a seasonal kind of show, it'll work. It's just they have to nail it. That's the big thing. Because if they don't, they're not probably going to get many more chances with NBC.
I mean, that could be, that statement is true, but also at the same time, too, you have to think about the fact that television is changed significantly. Where now, if you pull a 2 or a 3 on a Saturday night, yeah, it's a hit. Yeah, especially too, they're probably going to be able to broadcast on Peacock at the same time. So I
Most
feel
likely.
like there's going to be so this is going to be the first time ever that the world is actually going to be able to watch the whole thing live, where before it was like we saw it live, but other parts of the world, other parts of the country, mind you, Hogan and Andre, the rematch in '88, that drew 33 million viewers for that rematch. Unheard of.
That's better than some Super Bowls.
It is. Like, it's a comparison. Hogan and Andre drew 33 million people for their main event on the main event. That is a massive audience. And by the way, that does not include Nielsen ratings of bars and restaurants and things like that. That is one thing that has always been kind of trivial, I think, with the Nielsen ratings, because they don't count if somebody's at JT Smokehouse or some, like some bar random, and it's on the TV and that bar is sold out. It's not counting the heads in there. And that's happening in every part of the country. So for all you know, there isn't, like, you can add another 15, 20 million people that might have been watching that. So you're looking at almost 50, 55 million.
I was actually waiting for like a Hooters in Boston kind of reference, but you missed it.
I would have said that, but at the same time, I have to go back to, like, because
Bret Hart.
Yes.
Bret Hart.
Well, that doesn't bother me. It's the fact that I was rooting for a guy that went on to kill his family 3 years later. That was the problem I'm still trying to get out of my head. Because it's like everybody was so excited when Benoit won. 3 years later, everybody's just like, oh, God, I rooted for him. Shit. Like, I gotta, yeah. So I love the night itself because that was a blast. But at the same time, I should, you know what? I should also give Hooters the plug in general, just because of the fact they have fine chicken wings there, folks.
Bomb ass wings, man. Bomb ass wings. Hey, Liv Morgan used to work for a Hooters in New Jersey.
She did. Yes. And I mean, that is probably now the most famous alumnus for that entire, like, she surpassed everyone. Because I don't know any other celebrity that worked at, or like, a top rated celebrity that worked at Hooters other than Liv Morgan. And now it seems like she seems to be the one that's like, I'm the most famous Hooters girl ever. Yeah, you can make that comment. Just because of the fact that right now she has been must-see television this year, and it continues. You think about the chemistry that Rhea and Dom had, and now you think about the chemistry that Dom and Liv have. And you have to think to yourself, which one is better? Because, yes, you can say that Rhea was able to get him to kind of jump to the dark side and did a hell of a job with that. Even though I really don't think it kind of, all it did was build his confidence up. Because I don't think when he started out as a heel, he really had the confidence. I feel like the last year or two or probably going back to when he was doing the vignettes where he was just harassing his family. Then he got arrested. That was when the turn, I think, finally started to happen, where it was just like, I have the confidence now to be able to pull this off. And you have now seen this character being able to develop. And the thing about it is that he was booed heavily. While Rhea was beloved, even as a heel, she was still absolutely beloved. And I said after the injury, I said, they're not going to boo her anymore. It's impossible. You have to do something to get him away from her. And you have also to get Liv Morgan to be able to get over and finally get over the hump and get the stink offer from the Ronda Rousey and deal. And then, of course, the injury bug that she had for about a year and a half. You have to be able to get her out of that. And she has done that with flying colors. And she has done that with the help of Dominic Mysterio. And unbelievable. The fact that if you would have said to me 2 years ago that either one of these characters was going to be in the position that they are now of being top flight main eventers in WWE and also have arguably the greatest mixed tag team match in the history of the wrestling business at Bash in Berlin. Compliments and congratulations and salutations have to be let out to Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan for being able to resurrect their career. Especially Dominic, because I feel like this is coming from someone that 2-3 years ago said he has no hope. He should just quit now. I said that on several occasions. But I am a man that is willing to admit when he is wrong when it comes to this industry. Hear my girl in the next room just being like, you can admit when you're wrong all the time if you wanted to, instead of just this industry. But for the sake of this program, I feel like I need to be able, and also for my credibility here, admit that I was wrong and not spin it and not try to sit there and be like, well, you know, plans change. No, it's not how I work. Want to be able to sit here because, of course, people go back in audio and say, well, you said this. Yeah, okay. You don't have to call me out on it. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about Dominic Mysterio. I always felt like Liv Morgan could be a star. It's paying off. Yeah, I have an eye, it seems like, for talent most of the time. A couple of times I've been wrong. Dominic Mysterio, yes, I'm wrong. There's other talent though that I did see. Like I saw Bianca Belair before everybody else did. I was watching the Mae Young Classic, and I kept saying, I'm like, she's got something. And then everybody started to catch up as time went on. Everybody's just like, that Bianca's pretty good. It's like, no shit. I saw Jade Cargill when she was working for Jacksonville, Dixie. And I thought to myself, I'm like, wrong company, right talent. Like, and she made the switch. It was like she either listened to me telepathically. Somehow somebody just got it to her and said kidding, of course. But I felt like that was her life's goal. She felt like that she wanted to go work and become a star, and she was willing to work to do that. And the stepping stone was AEW. And she has turned into a massive, massive star who has done nothing but improve as she did that at Bash in Berlin. So I feel like we should just jump right into it. Opening the entire event was the undisputed WWE Championship match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. And Mac and I were both like, what the actual fuck? We're just going back and forth on group chats because we're like, this is the championship match. Mind you, going in, I understood that Gunther was going to be in the main event. Fine. Yeah. Completely understand that. But why is one of your most over guys and the most important belt in your company the opener for Bash in Berlin? Why is that happening?
For me, this is tough because the card is stacked. It was. And do I think this is an excuse? No, I don't think they should have opened the card. I think objectively speaking, I think it should have been the women's tag match for the championship belts on the women's side, and then maybe this, because the other three matches, you guys can see it on the screen if you're listening. It's the mixed tag match, Drew and CM Punk, and then as Dan said, Gunther and Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. But I just feel like this should not open. I know they've done this in the past with the World Heavyweight Championship. They've had that open when Seth Rollins was champion. They've done it in the past with other championship belts. I know, Brock wanted to go home early, but it's just there's so many.
Yes, he should have.
Yeah, it's Brock Lesnar. Fuck. But it's just this is tough to swallow because, as you said, it's probably the biggest belt out of all of them, or should be at least, if not the World Heavyweight Championship, depending on the day, depending on the week, depending on the month. But as you said, it's your biggest guy in the company right now that is there as a champion is Cody Rhodes. And I feel it's kind of weird to have him open the show with KO. I get it. There's maybe not a storyline here built up like the other matches on the card, but I still don't understand. But listen, to jump right in before I let you give it back to you, I should say. Listen, this is another match where Cody just fucking nails it.
Yes.
And they added some depth to it with him showing signs of a knee issue. And then, even Wade Barrett was like, pull the trigger, KO! And, didn't happen, and there's a lot of hesitation there, and it's layer upon layer of storytelling, which they've been nailing lately over the past year plus. So, listen, there's a lot to this match that was great. I just hated that they opened it.
My problem with it opening is that I feel like it adds to what is starting to be growing criticism of the way they have handled Cody Rhodes' championship reign. And having it open this show gives that some weight now. Because you make it feel like, it's not important to us right now. We're not at Mania yet. We're at Mania is when it's important. Don't worry. It really is. If you've seen the South Park episode where they talk about Game of Thrones, it really is. The dragons are coming. Don't worry. The dragons are on the way. That's how I feel like that this is going right now. Rock's the dragon. He's on his way. You have to wait. Fine, I get that. But at the same time, don't make this the opener to give people now ammo towards this reign.
It's so tough for me to think of it that way. And I know we've talked about this, and I know I've had my grievances with the reign, but it's like, you have to realize that last year, your undisputed champion held the belt all year, and he defended it maybe 3 times. Listen, he is a work rate champion.
He is.
He is putting on 5-star matches at fucking house shows. Sorry.
That's a bad word.
But he is. And he's putting on his first major title defense is a 5-star match with AJ Styles. He had another 4+ star match with AJ Styles a month later. He's putting on clinics in the ring. He's looking fantastic. This one, you overlay that with a little bit of a knee issue. Because let's be real. That was bullshit. There was no fucking injury.
There was no injury.
Come on. We all know, any educated wrestling fan, I apologize, knows that was a work. Okay?
Of course it was.
So, did he look a little bit weak in this defense? Yes. Is there a storyline you could build off with KO not taking advantage of it? Yes. You could run with this. And listen, for all intents and purposes, I'm not going to say this is a 5-star match, but it's a 4+ at easily.
Absolutely.
Easily a 4+.
It was not the match of the night. It was not.
It didn't need to be.
It didn't need to be. It wasn't set up for it to be either. because everybody knew the main event and then the strap match was going to be neck and neck. And Cody and Kevin was put in a position where it was like, well, we're going to be the opener, so we can make it solid, but at the same time, no one's going to remember it at the end of the night because they're going to remember the other matches that happened, but also at the same time, the way the build was for this match, and considering the fact that Kevin Owens, it was part of the storyline of him even questioning getting a championship match himself at the beginning of this, it almost like they felt like, this is going to be like, yes, Cody's going to defend the title, but it's not going to be the main focus.
It's so I get the best phrase for you. It's the pace setter. It set the pace for the entire evening.
It did. It was the pace car, which Cole Trickle should have hit the pace car because he hit every goddamn other car on the whole track.
Anyway,
did you get the reference?
yes, I got the reference.
Thank God. Okay, at least
That's
someone
why I'm
did.
just like, okay.
Yeah, no, I just needed to make sure because I feel like that I sometimes sit here and I'm like, am I the only one that's making a Days of Thunder reference and someone is getting it? Because I feel like 7 people watch that movie. God, that should be one actually we do for Diamond Movie Review.
Yeah, good idea. Actually, a great idea. I don't know if she's gonna sit through it though.
No, she'd kill me because she hates Tom Cruise. She hates Tom Cruise regardless. Tom Cruise has made some amazing films.
Fuck, man, when you put it that way, though,
can't fucking stand him.
When you put it that way, though, maybe she needs to.
I've already told her. I said there's going to be at least a couple fucking Tom Cruise movies you're going to have to sit through. I'm like, it's just like there's definitely a couple. It's just because I don't know about any of the Mission Impossible movies because it's just. They're great films, don't get me wrong, but they're one of those films that's like you have to pay very fucking close attention to this whole thing because it's just this could come into play like in the last 10 minutes. Yeah. But there are some other films that's like with him where it's just like Top Gun, especially Maverick. Christ. Not the original so much, but Maverick is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah. The original was good for its time, but it's not Maverick.
Maverick is amazing. I told everybody I went to see that at IMAX because we were discussing IMAX a little while ago, me and her, because Beetlejuice opens this weekend.
That's right.
And she has actually her cardigan and her hat came in today that I ordered for her just to because wanted to get her hyped up and all that stuff. But yeah, she's just like, well, what's the difference? I said, well, when I went to IMAX, I said, and saw Top Gun. It was like the most amazing thing ever because I'm in a fighter. I felt like I was in the fighter jet with them because the seats are moving. And then I'm by the ocean for the beach scene and I feel like mist on me. Like it's just incredible. But, I feel like for Beetlejuice, it's because of its wacky nature, it's probably going to be fun. But at the same time, it's not like an action movie. It's like I feel like IMAX is built for action movies and not so much like kooky comedies with like a horror mixture of it. It is getting pretty good, decent reception though. I saw on IMDb it's getting over a 7 right now, which for a movie this day and age, that's part of that's a long awaited sequel. That's pretty good. So
we talked about that with Ghostbusters for the first sequel, not the new
for the first one. Yeah, not the new one.
Yeah. Anyway,
starting to twitch now. Fuck.
No.
But I completely agree with you on the Kevin Owens Cody Rhodes thing. I thought it was a solid match, definitely a 4, above a 4 in my opinion. If I was to give it, I would give it 4 Meltzers out of 5. That's what it should be. It's just we have Meltzer's head with his fucking tongue sticking out, and that's how we measure it. We'll go to the Meltzer meter. 4 stars. But I thought definitely a 4. Go ahead.
No, You're giving me an idea right now that I'm just like, oh fuck, I need to make this happen.
You did. Sometimes you got to produce on the job, and you're like, where you're just like,
Yeah, no, I'm not
I
gonna do
have
it
an
now.
idea.
No, I'm not gonna do it now. But just bobblehead Meltzer heads for star ratings. Just oh my god.
Bobblehead Meltzer, or like, we could have like dancing Meltzers if we wanted to, like with little stick figures. Dancing Meltzers, just be like, and we're gonna do this in our Meltzer vision. Do 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 do.
He really. I know we're talking about caricatures, which is probably why it popped into my head. But he's really become a caricature of himself. I feel like.
He fucking has. It's sad.
Yeah.
Because he's such a respected, respected
was.
journalist. Yes, he was a respected
think he is
journalist
anymore.
back in the day, and also as far as a historian, he's fantastic as well. Not a great writer. A lot of punctuate, a lot of he's somebody that put a lot of stuff out there and wrote like these incredible, huge, like massive. As far as historical reference to professional wrestling is concerned, he's been the guy the last 40 plus years. Like, as far as documented history is concerned, the last half a century, go see Dave, right? Because he's going to be able to tell you anything that happened, dates, years, all that shit. Great reference. I love him for that. As far as the documented history is concerned. But that's where he should stay. Because as a media person, as a writer, as a news guy, it's over, Johnny. Like, it's over. You're not coming up with anything, I think, truly groundbreaking anymore. I think a lot of times you're just sitting at a dartboard and just throwing it. I do that too, but the difference is that I'm a fucking pundit. I'm not trying to charge people either a subscription fee for the Observer. I'm just saying and talking out my ass and saying, this is where I think things are going to go. I'm not passing this off as factual or as news by any means, any means.
You know what
Any
it
of
is? He needs to hire somebody other than him and Alvarez. That
Other than Alvarez.
what?
I said, yeah, other than Alvarez.
Well, that's
fuck.
that's why I said it.
Yeah, I know.
But he needs to hire somebody that can do the day-to-day wrestling. And I hate making this comparison, but it's so factual of comparing Meltzer to guys that have been in the business for a while. I'm not going to name names because that's where I will annoy myself with it. But he has such a wealth of knowledge, having been around the business as long as he has, that he could talk about those experiences, whether he interviewed top guys in the past or top matches in the past. He can go through and discuss those versus talking about the current product in the way that he does. When you have guys, and I'm not comparing them, but I'm making somewhat of a comparison of older guys with older history. Look at a guy like Cornette, who's a guy who's been in the business forever and has that insight. It's also fucking hilarious to listen to in the context of that time period and comparing it to now. Or when he's shitting all over the Young Bucks. It's funny. But with Meltzer, it's like, oh, well, they haven't put on a 5-star match. Like, shut the fuck up, Dave.
The thing with Cornette is that there are a lot of things about modern wrestling that Jim and I would disagree on. I would go to war with him about Kenny Omega. And I love Cornette, but I also love Kenny Omega. As far as the talent is concerned, as far as he's one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. Like, it's not even close. One of the best parts of AEW in their history was when Kenny was the belt collector, when he had all the championships. It was one of the best parts of, the tail end of the pandemic era. It was great. Promos were good. His matches were fantastic and solid. Even it made Hangman relevant, which, God, how the fuck did he pull that off? But That would be one thing that me and him would really heavily disagree on, because I would go to bat for Kenny. And I think also our differences on women's wrestling. I think he's got that old man mentality that women's wrestling is not a draw. And I hate to tell you, Jim, I love you, but you're wrong. I think women's wrestling is here to stay. And I think it is just as important now as any male in the industry. Rhea Ripley is going to be one of the biggest stars in the history of the fucking company. Men or women, it doesn't fucking matter. She is a beloved figure in that company now. And she is going to be, in the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to look at her and they're just going to say, yeah, she's the best. Because I don't know how anybody in their career is going to be able to get past her. As far as talent is concerned, as far as believability is concerned, as far as just everything, the whole package. And she's smart.
Well, hold on. Let's play devil's advocate for a second. So I'm not going to sit here and disagree with you, but I want to throw out some names, at least one name, actually, that we could maybe make an argument for. So one of them is in the next match, actually. Jade Cargill. How do you feel about her? Do you think at some point, if she can get over some of the greenness that we still see occasionally, not so much in this match that we'll talk about in a minute, but do you feel like she could surpass Rhea Ripley at some point?
It's possible. The problem that the thing with Rhea is that Rhea's like in her mid-20s.
27, I think, yeah.
She hasn't, I feel like she hasn't even hit her peak yet.
Yeah.
And
okay, so hold on. Because you're basically squashing that already, so I'm not gonna continue with that path. But what about somebody that we feel will be in WWE hopefully soon?
Jordynne Grace.
I was gonna say the Juggernaut Jordynne Grace, but yeah, how do you feel about that one?
There's a chance there. There's a chance there. My problem is, and my only kind of concern is if a couple of years ago with Jordynne, she kind of, I was soured on her for a little bit because of some of her social media activities. Not per se some of the content, let me just put it that way. But there were some certain things that may have been said. There were some certain things and beliefs I think that she had said in the past that I just was, and some of them she was right on, 100% right. But then there were some of the things that she was writing, I'm just like, But I think someone got in her ear because she's really kind of calmed that down. As far as that rhetoric is concerned, and I feel like that once she gets under that machine, which she's already had a taste of it, so I think that, so yes, there is a possibility with her that they're going to be able to get her on the Rhea path. But I just look at Rhea and it's just like, yeah, she's a goddamn star. Like, it's just, you look at her and you just think to yourself, yep, you got it. You're there. Like, you got everything. You figured it out. And because it's hard to kind of keep the women talent around more. Yeah, because you look at Becky.
That's why I asked. Hold on. That's why I asked about Jordynne Grace too, because Jade is a little bit older. I think she's in her early 30s.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not saying that's
early
old,
30s,
but
no, it's not.
Compared to these two, it is. Though.
You look at Bianca. Bianca's mid to late 30s. So
hold on. All right. So hold on. Let's find out.
I think she's 36 or 37.
Oh, she is. For some reason I thought she was younger. So we'll go up Jade first. Jade Cargill, I believe is 31 or 33. She's 32. Split the difference there. Okay.
Okay.
So Jade is 32. Bianca is 35. Okay. For some
Okay.
reason I thought it was closer to Jade, but still close. I mean, a couple of years, no big deal.
Yeah.
But the reason I asked about Jordan Grace is,
How old's Jordan Grace?
so that's I can say right now. Jordan Grace is only 28.
Oh shit! I didn't know she was that young.
Yep.
Because she's been around for years.
She
I thought that
has.
she would be at least 30, 31.
Yep.
I didn't know it was 28.
In
Wow.
preparing for the conversation, I actually looked it up this morning because I was like, I feel like it's going to come up. And ironically, it did. Different reasons as to why, but it still came up. But yeah, Rhea is 27. She's 28. And let's be real. We've talked about this. I already said it. She is 100% when that contract is up is WWE bound.
Oh, without question. It's not even an argument. Considering also next week on NXT, she's having an open challenge for the TNA championship. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yep.
Like, you're gonna have her defend the TNA championship on your program?
Yep.
Like, this is we are in weird times, man.
Yeah, man.
Like it's just if you asked me this 10 years ago, I would have just laughed you out of the fucking building. Especially considering the fact that Dixie Carter was running things back then. Because they didn't take her seriously whatsoever. I think that's proving with it when you're behind, when a company is behind, has someone behind them that is willing to do business with anybody and does not put, egos aside and things of that nature. Because WWE has done nothing, but I think enhanced not only the talent that has been a part of NXT at certain points, including fuckface Joe Hendry.
How dare you?
That's a
See,
bad word.
I don't hate Joe Hendry. I just love trolling people who do. Like,
How
who
dare
love him.
you?
I just don't understand it. Like, how this guy is just all I believe, not me. Like, it's
Because I'm not booked.
Because you're not booked. Yeah.
exactly. I'm not booked. I've never been booked by the major promotion, so why do I care?
Jesus. All right. Anyways, now that we've sufficiently segued enough, I feel like we'll talk about Joe Hendry in a little bit. But the next match of the card, as I said before, we talked about Jade, was Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair taking on the Unholy Union, the women tag team champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
It was probably Jade's best performance I've ever seen in the ring. There was 0 botches.
We said that. Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about that in texting and just been
Maybe the
wow.
pump kick spot a little bit. She held that it got on the top rope just a little too long for my liking. But at the same time, I
She
thought
didn't
everything
fall this
else.
time.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing. It's like, well, he didn't fall. But all in all, and I keep saying this every time Jade's out there. I'm like, she's just getting more comfortable. She's just getting more comfortable. And they're doing her right by putting her with someone that is credible, and I feel like able to show her, hey, this is what you can do. Hey, this is what you can do. This is how it's done. You're getting your timing. You're getting everything. And then, of course, you're learning how to work a crowd now because you go for the hot tag. Every time they do the hot tag on her, she's getting the fucking place goes nuts. And it's been like that since she debuted. And
Well, so two things. So for the hot tag portion, segment, whatever, Bianca was in there for a while at that point, getting the shit.
She
kicked out
was,
of her.
yeah.
So I wasn't surprised by the pop. I do want to kind of discuss Jade botching for a second, though. The one thing I've kind of noticed is the entrance. It does seem like whatever marker is on the floor for her, she either stops short of it or she passes it. That is the one thing I've kind of noticed lately with Jade is the botching of the entrance. Because my understanding of her entrance is she's supposed to, stop inside of that, laser beam, whatever the fuck you want
Yes.
to call that. Sorry.
That's a bad
But
word.
she's supposed to stop in that and then do her flex, and then that's when the lights come back on. But it seems like I said, she like passes it lately. And she's doing it either right past it or she stops short and does it right before it. But entrance aside, I have to agree that I think teaming her with Bianca Belair is kind of her introductory 6 months to a year for her has worked incredibly well. I think they're working probably outside of the ring, as it were, too, together to kind of brush up her skills.
You gotta.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she was also in the Performance Center with Roxanne Perez for a while. That was heavily reported early on as well. We don't know if she's still doing that or not. She is in the Florida area for her residence, so who's to say? But whatever they're doing with her, man, it like you said, it's getting better and better, and it's working. And that's what you want to see, especially for a talent like Jade. Like you said before, when she was with that other company, which we're not going to name names right now or tonight, hopefully, but still,
It's what you're hoping for. You're like, God,
It
just
is.
don't talk about
It
them.
is.
I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah, I'm fucking.
No.
I'm literally just fucking done with them tonight. It's so much WWE news this week that I was just like, I don't want to talk about them. But yeah, you'll love to see it. You love to see it. So they win. They beat the tag champions. They are in their second reign. Are Bianca and Jade. This is pretty much what I thought it was gonna be. I feel like this should have opened. But again, they wanted to go with KO and Cody, probably to be the pace car, like you said, and I think it worked. I think this match was a decent follow up, and if they had to put this second, I think it made sense to do so. But any other thoughts on that match? I know it wasn't really much to talk about, but
It was a good match. It was, unfortunately, it wasn't. It was like the worst match on the card. It was just ranked fifth. That's the way I look at it. It's just like there were other matches more important, but it wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that as far as importance is concerned, as far as how I felt like the match, it's like, yeah, it wasn't the worst match, but I don't put it as like really important. And that's kind of how I
No, I
feel on
agree.
it. It's,
Yep.
it's like I thought it was good. I just didn't care.
yeah, I hate to say it that way, but it is the truth. It is 100% the truth. All right, so we'll move on. Some reason I thought this order was a little bit different than it was, but the next match was the Four Corners strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Damn, this was good.
Yeah,
This was really fucking good.
yeah.
Which I had a feeling it was going to be. I'm like, this is going to be fucking just great. And it was everything possible that I could have wanted from a match like this. And it was hard hitting. It told a great story.
Yep.
God damn. It's just like just some of the spots in it. And like the little things that Punk did, like at one point
Yes.
when Drew set the chair up in the corner and then Punk just left the ring and just let the momentum Drew just drive himself through
Yep.
the fucking chair that he propped up.
Yep.
Little things like that where I'm just like, yes.
The other one for
Because-
me was also when Drew had him over his shoulders, and then he would turn to go to the next turnbuckle, and CM Punk hits the turnbuckle as soon as Drew turns around. I thought was really clever.
I remember that spot. I think it was from the Castle of Doom stretch match between Vader and Sting, where I think it was Sting who had him on his shoulders and then was hitting. It was because let's face it, when you're in matches like these, it's like, how are you going to be different?
Yep.
And I felt like with this, it was different, but also at the same time, it just added to a lot of drama because we didn't know who was going to win. We figured it was going to be Punk, but at the same time, we didn't know because, and we got a confirmation of this on Monday, there is going to be a third.
Yep.
And it's probably going to be a Bad Blood, and it's probably going to be Hell in a Cell. And we're going into this. I was just like, they're probably going to do Hell in a Cell. It's just how are we going to get there, guys? And it was perfect.
It really was.
Like, it was perfect. Like, I couldn't ask for a better match from these two guys.
Yeah. The fact that Punk ended it with hitting GTS after GTS after GTS, I thought was just so fucking poetic. I liked also the tell at the end of, hey, I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna hesitate to grab it. Is he gonna screw himself over again like he did in the last match where he goes after the bracelet, so he kind of screws himself and loses the match? No, he sees it. He says, "All right, I'm just gonna give him one more go to sleep. Then I'm gonna hit him with the turnbuckle. Then I'm gonna get the bracelet." I just thought overall, the ring psychology and the story that these guys were able to tell in the ring in a strap match and be different enough in a strap match to be engaging, I thought was just awesome. Because the thing that you have to remember, like the last, quote unquote strap matches that we've had have not been a four corner strap match. That's something they don't use a lot of for stipulations. They might use a strap match, but it's barely ever. I can't remember the last four corners one. The fact that they kind of had it that way has been pretty cool. And there is something.
Yeah, it's Oogie Boogie.
I know what it is. It's like in your face. Oh my goodness. Love me.
Just think, honey, next October you can get your picture taken with him.
Cornbread, damn it, cornbread.
Are we not talking tonight? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I love that.
All right.
Good night.
I love you.
Um,
I love you too, Oogie Boogie.
Awkward.
Love you. I mean, what the fuck is that? Like, what is that? Oh, you're leaving it just over the kitty. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Can you position the fan towards me?
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's funny that she brought in Oogie Boogie because the deposit was made over the weekend. Officially, next fall, I will be going to Disney with Steph, and thank you. And so, goddamn. This, I don't know how a family of four can afford to go. It's, I don't know how. That
Selling body parts on the black market?
That's the only way. If you have a family of four, it's like just download that song on your phone by Peter Griffin. I have $30,000 in credit card debt. Because that's how it's going to go. I've never really taken a trip like this to this extent. Like, and because I got friends that every fucking weekend they're going somewhere. My own brother, he's in Colombia again. He was just there fucking 2 weeks ago, like probably a month ago he was there. Came back for celebration of birthdays and all that stuff. Then he took off. Then he was in Toronto at one point. He's going to fucking New Orleans. He's going to Texas. He's going to Peru. Like, his frequent flyer miles, of course, he's a goddamn Delta Sky Club member. So, he's got points up the yin yang and all that stuff. But it's like, they're going away every weekend. And it's like that with most of my friends. Some of this, and Mac, you probably see it too, where it's just like, where are you going again? And my ass hasn't left the ground, barely. I'll go down to Tampa for a few days here and there in the last decade or so, but it hasn't been too, I was at the Rumble back in January, but it hasn't really been, it's a trip kind of with family and all this stuff. This now, me and Steph, it's just going to be us. We're staying at Disney. I'm probably, well, not probably. I am building a fucking lightsaber. That's already been figured out. Yeah. Of course, I have to make the reservation within within like 2 months of it. And Mac has already told me, if you're not going Sith, I don't want you even talking to me.
Because I'm not booked.
Which probably, which then I started thinking, because I'm like, and I had a conversation at work about this, because we were talking about the building of course, the lightsaber. And then the conversation started of, you think about 40 years of the telling of the original movies. And then they brought out this sequel series that they did in the last 10 years with Disney. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm just like, the Empire wasn't really that bad. Because why the fuck? Like, you look at Princess Leia and you look at Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. As far as character, it's like they got to live in exile, for Christ's sake. Because, of course, they're still fighting with these people after 40 fucking years. You still haven't figured this out. You still haven't sat there and just been like, after the Ewoks, you guys won. It's over, Johnny. But no! 40 years fucking later, you're still having to deal with bullshit. Your own son joined the goddamn dark side and somehow got all three of you in the end. Yeah. Jesus. So it's like, yeah, the cis won. They technically did. End of rant.
All right, so CM Punk defeats Drew McIntyre in a four-corner strap match.
Yes.
Oh my god. All right, the next
you
match.
Offered nothing. Yeah. You offered nothing on that.
I offered audio clips, so.
Yeah, that was it. You didn't offer, but I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, I thought I came up with something that I could come out of the program with, and it's just like, maybe he could bite into this a little bit. I just throwing the carrot out there, and you didn't take the bait. I respect it, but I'm also annoyed.
You know why I don't take it? I'll tell you this right now.
Why? Because I'm right.
You know what? Yeah, and not so many words. You're right.
Ah!
Yeah. Do you know why you're right, though? If I could elaborate on that point for just a very quick moment. I'm literally looking at the clock right now. Because The Force Awakens, the first of the sequels, was okay.
Yes.
Right? I know people shit on the sequels, but that one was okay.
It was good.
The Last Jedi was incredibly hard to follow. It felt like the fucking Titanic. You're just waiting fucking 2 hours for this fucking ship to catch up, quote unquote, in air quotes, even though you can't fucking see me. I should put that on camera too.
Yeah.
Sorry. But fucking, like, like, what's going on? Like, how is this happening on this planet? But that fucking Imperial ship or Last Order, whatever the fuck, First Order, can't catch this one fucking rickety dink fucking rebel ship. And then it's just like, okay, they kill off Snoke. Like, what? You like no backstory revealed, nothing. And then I'm sorry. The Rise of Skywalker is just the last fucking turd out of my dog's ass. Like I don't know. It's just like my dog. I'll give you a little backstory. My dog puked right next to my foot today. True story. And I just happened to look down because I felt her next to me.
The joy of being a pet owner.
And I hear a noise and just look down and just fucking just pile of puke. And I'm like, fucking really? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I feel about the Rise of Skywalker, the last of the fucking sequel trilogy. And it's like, to tie it all off in a bright, pretty fucking bow, the first one was good, it wasn't great, but it was serviceable. I was intrigued by what the next movies were, and the next movies, both of them, were just fucking, like I said, the last little turd nugget out of my dog's ass. Just
it was the prequel trilogy in reverse. The first two were and then the third one was pretty good. Like that, it was exactly how I felt. It was the first two, the third one, and then the original trilogy. Then you have the new trilogy, for the next two. So it's.
You know what sucks is out of the shows, right? I don't count Rogue One, first of all. I don't. Because I thought it was okay. It's not bad, it's not good. That's how I feel. I still can't really sit through all of Solo. I just cannot do it. I think Ahsoka.
There's only one Solo.
Yeah.
It's not this guy.
Yeah. No fucking comment. Anyway. I think Obi-Wan was very good. I think it had a pacing issue, though, in my opinion, but overall, I thought it was good. I think Ahsoka is okay. The end of Ahsoka is just fucking stupid, in my opinion, though. What was the other one? Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian are both good. I have heard not so great things about Acolyte. That makes me not want to watch it. And the fact that they killed it off after one season, very quickly after the season was over, does not exactly fill me with confidence for that. So, to just come full circle in the last minute or so of this rant that you've set me upon, thank you. I'm not excited for any future Star Wars things. I can't be.
Yeah.
Maybe Mandalorian, sure, but other than that, and that Andor show, I forget the name of it, was pretty good too. But it's been like what, a year and a half, 2 years since they did anything with it. Like
it's the only things I want to do left is what I'm going to be doing in Orlando, and that's ride the goddamn Millennium Falcon, make my goddamn lightsaber, and then that's it. Then it's like, I've done everything I need to. I'll see you later. I'm just gonna go watch the other three movies.
As I said, Sith or die. If you don't get a Sith lightsaber, don't come back. Anyways,
a Sith lightsaber. I
know.
promise.
I'm fucking with you. Anyway, so that brings us back to wrestling, back to Bash in Berlin. The next match was arguably yet another main event of the evening. The Terror Twins, as they have become known, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, takes on the Judgment Day's dirty douchebag Dominic Mysterio and Women's World Champion Liv Morgan.
As I said earlier, I believe, in my humble opinion, this is the greatest mixed tag team match in the history of the business. Ever. just because you have 4 performers right now that are at their peak as far as popularity and as far as, I mean,
Douche chills.
they're because the thing about it is, even if you're hated, you're still popular. That's the thing about the wrestling business.
I'm not disagreeing.
You
I just
know,
think it's funny. But yeah,
it is funny. But at the same time, it's like I look at these, because you look at Damian Priest and it's just like, God, he's a main event guy. Like, he's now a main event fucking talent. So it's like, yeah, you got to keep him strong. And you had 2 of your best, because look, Dominic Mysterio can eat pins for the rest of his career, and it's not going to affect nothing. People are still going to boo his ass out of the fucking building. And the thing about it is, you have him get that occasional win.
so many things I want to say about Dominic Mysterio can eat that I can't do it. You're right though. The dude can just sit there and eat pins all day, and I'm never going to be disappointed by it.
No, it's just people are going to watch him for the next decade and a half get the shit kicked out of him every week, and they're not going to tire of it because he's somehow going to find a way to make you hate him more. This is the only guy I know that got more heat for fucking over Rhea Ripley than goddamn turning against his dad. Like, he turned against his dad, he had people started cheering, which is the weird thing.
Yeah, you're right.
That didn't get him that much heat compared to when he screwed Rhea. It's like, oh my God.
You know,
Because there's so many simps for Rhea.
Yeah, that's part of the issue
And
too.
because there's so many simps. The White Knights are out with her all the time. It's
I also have to say, man, it's like everything he does is annoying to me. I think his outfit, I think it's annoying. I think that douchey mustache is annoying. I
hate
think
the mustache
yeah,
so
man,
much.
I hate it. I hate it too. I think him growing the mustache and growing out the hair and cutting it the way he has, effectively trying to look like fucking Eddie Guerrero, is fucking annoying to me.
He's trying to be Eddie from like 96,
I know he
97,
is.
and
I
I'm just like, I
know.
fucking can't hate. I hate you for this.
I know.
At the same time, I respect you, you piece of shit.
That's the thing. It's
Is-
like you want to hate him, and like, listen, like
It's hard.
I will say this: like, it's hard not to hate Dom and
the
kayfabe.
character.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where Dom, the human being, apparently is a very sweet person. I told the story about one of the fan fests he was at where he did not have a line anymore. He stuck around, hung out with the dude's kids, even waited, for the dad to get back to, cash out or whatever. And great human being. My God, kayfabe of Dominic Mysterio, I can't stand it at all.
You know what? The thing about it is, I bet you, if I ever did an interview with him, I could probably look at him straight in the face and I said, I have to be honest with you. I thought you fucking sucked 3 years ago and you should have quit the business.
Yeah,
And I said, and you proved me wrong. And he'd probably laugh his ass off.
he probably
Because
would.
he'd be like, you know what? I heard that every fucking day. And he's like, and I still hear it. I said, yeah, except the difference is you figured it out. I said, that's the difference now. You figured the shit out because
He leaned
you have
into it.
he is in a position now
Yeah.
where he can have a job for life because they're going to fucking boo his ass. He's in the Miz's slot. He's the new Miz. It's like you can just push him out there, have him annoy the fuck out of you, beat the shit out of him, and that's it. Because the Miz now you can't boo anymore. He's crossed into that legend story. Like, he's in that phase of his career now where it's like he's a legend. You can't boo him. You can't, because it's like he's already had all these accolades put together, strung together. He's entertained us for so long. It's like, and Dom's going to get to that point too. Dom is going to get to that point where people are just going to be like, yeah, you're a piece of shit, but you're all right. You're our piece of shit. All right. Just start cheering him.
Man, I don't want to put him in that category, but that's also because The Miz is also a 2-time Grand Slam champion, and I never want that for Dom. But that's either here.
Neither
nor
do
there,
I. I
guess.
never wanted to be world champion. But, well, I can't say. Look.
It's hard, isn't it?
I can't
See?
say that.
See?
I can't say that because it's like he's earned, in my opinion, he has earned his stripes, kid. Like that's the way I look at it. It's like you put in the work, you survived horse shit for so long. If it's the right spot, okay, fuck it. So I'll come out and say it again because I'm a nice guy and I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
We were wrong about Dom.
I was wrong about Dom.
We
I'll admit
both
it.
were.
We were
just
both
insane.
wrong.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I hate being wrong. I hate being wrong about wrestling so much because it's like I'm right so many times. And when I'm wrong, people never let me forget about it. Even though the majority of the people that I know just look at me and they just say, I was wrong too.
You know,
Like it's never now because everybody's got to be in the same boat of like, yeah, we were wrong on this one.
you know what it
All
really
right, we
is,
fucked
though?
up.
You know what it really is, though? He had to get away from Ray. That's
He
the
did.
biggest thing.
He
And
did.
It's funny to say that, given the context of them being family, father and son, but you mentioned it before about, when he's doing the vignettes at Ray's house, getting arrested, dirty Dom, because he fucking went to jail for 20 minutes or whatever. Like all those jokes that came out of it.
Yeah, but he
he's-
sold that to a hill.
He did,
I'll
and that's
give him
the
the
thing.
credit. It's like, you know what,
Exactly.
kid? Run with this. This is how your career. And that Usher, I think, showed because this was. This is how I knew Triple H was a fucking miracle worker because this all happened because Triple H took over and just said, I gotta save this kid.
Yeah.
Like this is, and I hate to equate it to the Hulk Hogan heel turn, but Hogan's career before the heel turn was starting to wane big time.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
And all of a sudden the turn happened and everybody's just, oh my God, he's main eventer again. Fuck it. Yeah, make him world champion. Go ahead. 3 years. Fuck it. Give it to him. Didn't care. Like it just, all of a sudden you just threw pretty much all you did was go to Mako. That's it. It's like, oh, yellow and we're going to go from yellow and red to fucking black and white. Okay, do it. And then Hogan was just like, hey guys, while you're down there, can you also spray my beard too? Fine, fuck it. Yeah, we'll do it. God damn it.
Oh man. But
It's just, that's where Dom is at right now in his career. So it's like, okay, brother,
crazy.
like you're good.
all right, bro. But yeah, listen, I don't think you're wrong. I think this is one of the best, if not one of the better mixed tag matches we've had over the years. In part, looking at one of the last ones that at least I can remember in WWE was the Miz and Maurice versus Adam Copeland and the Glamazon, and it just didn't work for me. They're very different. Plus, at that point, I think 3 of them had pretty much retired or were retiring, and 1 active wrestler. Whereas for this match, all 4 are active talent. So I think that also kind of plays a little bit of a role here too. And 2, if not all 4 of them, you could argue, are, as you said, at the top of their game. One's a women's world champion in the current day and age, as opposed to Maurice and Beth Phoenix, who were, I don't want to say past their prime, but not active talents, like I said, had both retired at that point pretty much from, everyday wrestling, as it were.
And Maurice was a serviceable worker at best.
She was. She did the Hurricane Rana pretty well, but I guess she also trained for like hours to do that one move. But, that's neither here nor there. All the
I mean, I'm not knocking her because she is
neither am I.
fucking 35. But,
Yes, she is.
Cornbread, damn it.
Cornbread. All right. Anyways, yeah. This is a good match. You have the extracurricular from Judgment Day, which everybody knew was going to happen. I think they made the right move for the Terror Twins to win this match. It just made sense. Dirty Dom on the following Raw this week that just occurred came out sporting a massive, massive black eye. Just wow, he got locked clean. Just wow, all bloodshot and everything, man. So
I mean, hey, you gotta take one, and it's just sometimes that shit just works. You know, it just, I think he looks at it now and he just says, "Don't worry, this is fine. It's gonna make it bigger."
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and he probably said to Rhea, "He's just fucking lay it in." And Rhea's just like, "Are you fucking sure?" Like, like that's how I think he probably felt after
I would
that.
have been surprised. Yeah.
Ah, my eye, fuck.
Yep. But yeah, Terror Twins win. Rhea, great pin on Liv. And
Oh my
probably
God.
will be challenging.
And then the camera work on the fucking replay. It's just like, you fucking assholes. Like, what are you doing here? Like,
We've talked about this before with Alexa Bliss back in the
this
day.
replay is brought to you by Braziers here.
My
on,
Alexa just went off because I said Alexa Bliss's name. But I think a lot of people had that same moment that you had when you met Bliss years ago. That
oh my God, yes.
With Rhea, with Liv, but not only just the pin, but you know, with Rhea bouncing around, waiting for a hot tag from Priest. Also, I think hit a lot of people that way.
She knows now. But the problem with Rhea Ripley is that she's like, you know, I'm one of the best workers of this in the world. Oh, also, I'm a fucking sex symbol, and I know I'm a sex symbol.
Oh yeah, she.
And it's just like, you fucking bitch.
She
Like,
knows. I think even Liv knows that she is too. Honestly,
Liv. That they compete with each other every week. It's just like,
I don't want to put it that way, but I know what you meant.
It's 1 week. It's 1 week. It's the shorts relived by Liv. The next week, Rhea's wearing a top where you're just like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Like, what step is next, girls? Like, where are we at now? Like, who's gonna come out with it? Like, and that's which is fun. It's kind of fun bringing back, I think, the, you know, that nature of that appeal. Yes, that appeal of the industry, which I feel like at one point was lost because of the fact that we are in a new phase of, you know, these girls can go. They got work. It's a work rate era for women, and it's like, I understand that, but you know, sometimes the appeal's nice. We're not gonna, at least I'm not, but I know other idiots are, because they're fucking stupid and trying to ruin it for everybody else. Like, oh God, what are you doing on Twitter, social media? Some of these nutcases, you're just like, ugh, guys, stop.
I think it's time to save the segment a little bit. So the last match, the main event of the evening, was challenger Randy Orton against champion Gunther, the ring general, which I thought was great when Kaiser came out to interrupt Samantha Irving to announce Gunther in German. I thought it was a great touch. Definitely a shout out to the Berlin crowd, as it were. This was a match.
A modern day masterpiece, and something I think that kind of sets the tone for this championship parade.
Yes.
Where
100%.
I think that now this is the bar measure. This is the measuring stick. And everybody else that this guy's going to compete against, it's just like, fuck. Oh, this is going to have to be hard. You're going to have to come to play, guys. It's interesting now because you have such strong work rate world champions on your roster. They're going to be now on these PLEs that each one is now going to be trying to outdo the other. And, you kind of hope that at Survivor Series that it could be, and I wish they would do this where it's SmackDown versus Raw.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Cody versus Gunther is the main event. Ooh, boy.
Listen, they have teased it in the past. They've never
They
pulled
have.
the trigger.
The Rumble, of course, last year, they were the final two where it was the match in the match
No, that
within
was
a
2
match.
years ago.
Yes, but not last year, meaning 2023.
I apologize. Okay, right.
Yes.
I think it was last 3 or 4 this year too. Gunther.
Yes, they were, but it was the final two, of course, was Punk and Cody.
Right.
But yes, Gunther was a part of the final 4 because I think it was him and Drew McIntyre in there as well.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Which again, this is where you knew the progression was going for Gunther. You can always tell sometimes when a guy is going to be pushed to the moon, depending on their placing in the Royal Rumble. Gunther, last year, and was the current Intercontinental Champion. This year, walking into this year, he was in the final 4, but he was also still Intercontinental Champion. And by the year's end, there's a good possibility he is still going to be the World Heavyweight Champion. The question is that because the rumor is at Survivor Series, it's going to be Gunther and CM Punk, which, who knows, plans could change. But that's the interesting kind of, because I'm part of the camp. It's like, I don't know if it's going to be too soon for Punk to get a championship match at the Cape, but McIntyre, I guess, is a top contender. But then the question is, so do you have him win the title? And then all of a sudden now it's Seth Rollins is chasing Punk at WrestleMania. But I think it's tough because that would be a great story. But at the same time, I really don't want this title reign to end anytime soon because he's the goddamn ring general. Like, he should be able to have this title for as long as he fucking well pleases. That's how I feel about Gunther. That's how I feel about the quality of match that this was. And that's the self-confidence, the confidence I look at this guy and I say, yeah, you're in solid hands with this guy as your world champion. Without question. And this is the tone that is going to set for this championship reign was this match. And it was one of the better world title matches in company history, to be quite honest.
I don't want to say that unless we're talking just the World Heavyweight Championship. Because
the World Heavyweight Championship, at least.
Yeah, that's my issue, right?
And that's going back to like 2002 and currently today.
The OG, yeah, I got it. I would agree with that. And it's the World Heavyweight Championship, whether or not you're including the old big gold, is up to you as an individual. I don't mean you specifically, but just the listeners. But it has such a storied history, so to call that one of the best World Heavyweight Championship matches in history is saying a lot. And we know that. But as you had kind of alluded to, I'll reiterate your words, modern day masterpiece. 100%. They kept saying it during the match, how much Charles Robinson was letting this go, who was the referee. And I think it was the right move. Whether or not it was intentional, I know they call attention to it on commentary. I don't care. It was working. It all worked. It all came together. I think that Randy will 100% be a world champion again at some point in his career. But we all kind of agreed it wasn't going to be that night. And it wasn't. I don't think it should have been. I don't think it needed to be. Now he goes back to SmackDown, and who knows if they start a feud with him and Cody? Who knows if they're going to hold off for a little bit? Who knows if, or I should say, who will be Gunther's next opponent? CM Punk called him out before we found out that Drew McIntyre is not done with CM Punk. Then, unfortunately, I feel like Sami Zayn came out during Gunther's speech on Monday Night Raw following Bash in Berlin, which I don't want to see that again right now. I don't want to see that again right now. I want to see something new. I want to see him have a challenge. And I don't think that's Sami Zayn right now. That's not to say anything against Sami. That's not to say that him and Sami can't put on a great match. They already did it at WrestleMania. I just don't want to see it again right now. I just don't. So
I can understand that sentiment, but I also can understand the
story implications.
the story of, look, I'm the last guy to beat you, which he did, and he beat him on the biggest stage possible. And so he has credence to the throne, as far as I'm concerned. So and you can make the logical sense of it because, yeah, he did lose to Braun Breaker, but he defeated the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history at WrestleMania. So his reign has weight to it. And
I'm not saying it doesn't. I just don't want to see it right now.
no, I get it. I mean, but
You know what? Hold on. Let's backtrack for a second.
I mean, do you want to see Dragunov in him already? That's the question I have.
I feel like
Are
you knew
you-
where I was going with that.
Yeah,
So
yes,
hold
that's
on.
exactly where I knew.
No,
you
no,
were
no.
going.
Hold on. I am and I'm not. And I'll tell you why I'm also not while I still am. Because if you want to have him against Sami Zayn, why not have Dragunov lose this Intercontinental 4-way that's coming up and add him in a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship against Sami Zayn and Gunther? Why not? Tell me why not. Because then you're putting in the last two guys that pretty much beat him, period. One for the NXT UK Championship, the other for the Intercontinental Championship. Why not? Both of them have ended two of the longest reigns in the company. One for both of those belts that I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't it be good to have him be given the Roman Reigns treatment, stack both of them up in the middle of the ring, and pin them both?
You really want to see your boy go down like that?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes, I do. If it legitimizes Gunther's reign that much more, fuck yeah, I do.
That is some shit.
Word.
When you're putting up one of your guys, and you're having him kind of be a sacrificial lamb to make, but also the fact too that you're like me, we're both fucking marks for Gunther.
I just why
like
not though? Like I don't.
Yeah, I get it. No,
Listen,
I get it
I'm
completely.
big on Dragunov. You know that. I've made that very clear on this program. But at the same token, like, why not? You can always build him back up after that.
That's true.
It's hard, or maybe Zayn eats the pin, one way or the other. I don't care.
If you said,
Sorry, Sammy. I love you, but today's not your day, my guy. It's just I don't hate the idea.
today's not your day, pal.
Yep.
It's not your day.
I don't hate it.
That was some of the most random. I just have to
I know.
comment on that.
I know.
That was one of the most random fucking memes I've ever seen in my life. Because there's no context to it at all. I don't understand the backstory to that. And it's just some random asshole. It looks like a fucking Walgreens just being like, today's not your day, pal. Today's not your day. Well, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you making reference to? What the fuck happened between you two? What do you do? Fuck your wife? What is this?
Yep. I know what you mean.
Question
now.
I have, people. Just a question that I'm thinking. It's just a random question that just sometimes pops into my head. I'm just like, why the fuck did we get here? Why is this popular? Why are people referencing to it?
I know.
I don't understand this.
I know.
Blue eye.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Oh, thanks for caring.
yeah. Sorry. Sorry. We've gone off on so many tangents tonight that I'm just like, holy shit. Yeah, that was Bash in Berlin on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Still on Peacock, obviously, if anybody missed it. I thought this show was good. Like, really
It was great.
good.
It was a really good show. Probably like 4 out of, like again, because, and I hate to say the tag team match was bad with the women's tag team, but it wasn't. It wasn't bad. I just didn't care.
That's the thing.
So it's
Yeah.
just,
I didn't
so I
hate
felt like
the match, though.
I didn't hate it. I just, it's like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, it almost
if-
felt like filler to the other 4. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But again, like as a standalone match, I didn't hate it either. But I also felt like you could have done the night before on SmackDown. Like I don't know. But yeah, the Berlin crowd was popping too. Love to see that for the international shows. Love to see the fans come out for those international shows. Glad they had a good
4 out of
Wow.
5 of these matches, you can argue, could have been,
the main
you
event.
yeah, they could have been the
Yeah,
main event.
I
Like
know.
this was a stack card. It was only 5 matches. Like I look at, and this is also coming off SummerSlam, which was 4 weeks ago, and SummerSlam was great. So like, you're coming out of this, you're just like, oh man, like how are they going to be able to top SummerSlam? And they did a decent job. Like this is because even I don't feel like now that these PLEs, any of them now are really starting to turn into B shows because they fucking go balls to the walls for all these PLEs.
Like I said, man,
Especially
there's
these
only been one
international
bad
ones.
show all year.
Yeah, and that was in Canada, so nobody gave a shit.
Anyway. All right. So our long WWE weekend of PLEs is just kicked off with Bash in Berlin, obviously. Great show. All the matches were good, even though, 4 out of 5, you could make an argument. But still, all in all, great show. And then moving into Sunday, we had NXT. So NXT on Sunday put on No Mercy, which I feel like was what? After WrestleMania 2000? Was it after that game? Forget.
Yes,
Right, there
it
we go.
was.
All right. So 6 matches for this one. And a little bit context for later because we did get an introduction finally to somebody we'll talk about in a little bit when we get to that match. But to start the night was the NXT Tag Team Championship match. Axiom and Nathan Frazier defeating Chase University, consisting of Andre Chase and Ridge Holland, of all frickin' people, to regain the
That was a
NXT
job. How?
Tag Team Match Champion. Yeah, I don't know, man. I stumbled on that because you mentioned that, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't get how he still has a job. I really don't.
And it has something to do with the Big E thing, not completely, but it's like I wouldn't even want him around because it's like you took a guy that was great for the locker room, also somebody that you knew was going to be a part of the pet plans in the future, and this fucking guy just ends his career. So I don't know if I want him around. Yeah, that's just me. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, I feel kind of the same way. There are times that his name will come up in a conversation, whether it be you and I or other people that are fans that I talk to, and I'm just like, I'll go back and watch it. And I'm just like, how do you still have a job? Just for that move alone, I don't get it. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's unsafe. It's hard to say that, especially now, just all things considered, what we know about the industry, about the moves, etc., etc. It's just, yeah. Why are you still working there?
Yeah, that's kind of my thought process on the whole thing.
Yep. But yeah, Axiom and Frazier regained the tag team championships from Chase U. I feel
Rich
like
Holland goes heel. Ah.
yeah, I felt like Axiom and Nathan Frazier were gonna win anyways. Just looking at this match
Yeah.
on paper, like they should have had the tag team titles the whole time anyways. And then they got them back. It's like okay, natural progression. Kind of figured that was gonna happen, but whatever. All in all, it was a decent match though. I didn't hate it. Didn't really care for it, but it's one of those
Yeah.
ones that it's like it was so predictable that I was like kind of zoning out of it. The next match was Zachary Wentz defeating Wes Lee in
Holy
13
shit.
minutes. Yeah, this was crazy. I wasn't expecting this to be this at all.
I was just like, oh, what? Like, did a TNA guy just beat a fucking WWE guy? Well, NXT guy on an NXT show? What the fuck?
I mean,
It also kind of set the tone of, maybe it's not going to be what we think might happen later.
just shut your warm mouth. Anyways, next match. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going because I was shocked. Like I don't know. It's part of me felt that it was a good match. First of all, let me start by saying that this was a good match, and it was a lot better than I would have anticipated otherwise. I don't know. There's something about Wesley lately that is just rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know. It seems like his character is more bitchy lately. I guess I don't know. So
I
don't know.
It's
yeah,
so
I don't know
funny.
how to say it any other way. Honestly, I just don't. I feel like he's just, I don't know, something with the character is just rubbing me the wrong way lately.
It's just I don't know. Like he's always somebody, and I'm probably gonna piss some people off, which again on the show probably.
I feel like I probably just did anyways. But go ahead. What's up?
But it's like with me, I look at Wes Lee and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna job him in my video game, right? And the reason why I'm looking at my phone right now is because I'm remembering the Zach Wentz thing, because he was with the company 2 years ago and then he got fired because of allegations that were made by an ex, or a current whatever, but it was a domestic situation, and it turned out to be false, and now all of a sudden 2 years later it's just like, hey, welcome back, you're going to beat your ex-tag team partner. It's like, what? Where the fuck did this come from? Like, as far as kind of them going and saying, yeah, maybe we fucked up when we fired her. And yeah, this is putting this guy right back. All of a sudden, this 2 year turnaround after, because again, sometimes with allegations like this, you look at, there are other situations in sports, Trevor Bauer especially, where it's like they're still blackballed. But I look at this and I look at this situation, but it's different because I guess he was probably a locker room guy. People really liked him and kind of really went on the line for him, bring him back, and now he's working for the company. He gets a big victory against his tag team partner on a show that's promoted by the place that he used to work at when he's working for another company.
Hey, listen.
Holy shit.
Listen.
It's wild.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna piss people off too. So I apologize in advance if we get canceled. Just saying.
It's all right.
It's hard sometimes with the whole Me Too movement to kind of be patient about things like this, and this falls under like the Harvey Weinsteins and others that take advantage of people. You have to kind of take these allegations seriously, but there are also times that you kind of should slow down and think as objectively as possible, which I think is hard for a lot of people given accusations that tend to arise like that. However, I have to be 100% honest. Both people I know, people I don't know, and just everybody in between. I think she is batshit crazy. I always did. So, listen, I will never know the full story ever, right? Like I'm not involved in the situation to make any estimation of what did or did not happen.
It's again,
But I also thought she was batshit crazy.
It's a similar situation to Trevor Bauer, where it's like she's just batshit crazy. Yeah, but the thing with Wentz is, again, well liked, probably, that he had people probably petitioning for him to come back.
Well, the allegations supposedly were proved to be untrue. Is
Right.
The first thing that we'll say there. But secondarily, kind of to your point, I think you're striving towards this with your comments, anyways. Is like, I think having been proved false, I think this is like their make good, so to speak.
Yes, that's like them saying, "Look, we're sorry we jumped the gun," but you know what? I think he also has to look at their position and say, "Well, considering the climate,
Yeah, that's
you
the
sometimes have to just make that jump."
Yeah.
I don't think he's pissed off about it at all. I just think he's just blessed. Probably right now he's just like, he is like a cloud fucking nine, because all of a sudden it's just like, okay, I was good for 2 years. All right, I had to struggle for a little bit, but now I'm back and I'm not going to fuck this up again.
Yeah.
So it's a really good redemption story,
It is.
and I'm all for it. Like, I'm all for them. I root for guys like that, where it's just like, you know what? And that, I take notice of guys more like that than anything. Yeah, and Brian Danielson went through the same thing with, that was such a dumb firing, because he used his necktie, and they're just like, oh, we got to fire you. For what?
Yeah.
And, it's just like, oh, Mattel is pissed off. It's just like, you know what? And he had a good redemption story, because 3.5 years later, here he is challenging for the world championship at fucking WrestleMania 30. It's not as big as moment as people make it out to be, but it still was a big moment for him. My God.
Cornbread, damn it, cornbread.
It's so hard for someone to argue that to me, when this year's Mania at the 40th trumps anything that probably could have been done by him, or anything else that they've probably done in the last 10 years, as far as WrestleMania finishes are concerned. But regardless, I like this redemption story a lot.
Yeah.
And I think for him, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, because maybe these two do get back together, where this kind of gets worked out. We're at the end of this thing, and all of a sudden it's just like, hey, now let's go tear it up in the main roster like we were supposed to 2 years ago. So, and it makes your tag team division stronger, because you look at what happened with Ciampa and fucking Gargano. Those guys had a blood feud for fucking years in NXT.
Yeah.
And they did it like twice.
Yeah. Both
Both of them turned heel on each other at one point. It was ridiculous. So this has the potential, I feel like, that they could do that, where it starts out as a blood feud, and then they're just like, oh, we'll get back together. And then it just makes their tag team division even stronger, because I feel like that they're in a really good place. I feel like their tag team division really, it could use a boost somewhat, but at the same time, I look at it, I'm just like, they're miles better than some other companies right now. Because it's
Ooh,
not
man.
just...
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry. I was reaching for the Buran button. Sorry.
Yes.
No, you're not wrong though. I think NXT is a great tag division. I wish they would reintroduce the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships instead of having it integrated into the overall WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Or have them defended on NXT television more. I don't know, but that's what I would do. But overall, yeah, I mean, with Axiom and Frazier, they're just so engaging to kind of watch that it's like, okay, shit, like, put them against anybody, and they'll put on a good match. Plus, you got other tag teams in the works, anyways. So,
Right.
shit, run with it. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe they do more with Wentz and Lee, and maybe they'll do something there, or who the hell knows. But the next match was the NXT Women's North American Championship. Champion Kalani Jordan against Wendy Cho.
Yeah, Wendy Cho brought it. Like, I
Yeah.
was rather surprised, kind of. I'm like,
I on paper, this is my bathroom break, and
yes.
I came back probably a couple minutes into the match, and I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah,
Like, wow, okay.
this ain't bad. I'm like, oh, this is definitely different. The funny part about this is if you're watching it like not on demand or something like that, it's funny that you mentioned that it's just like, oh, this is still my bathroom break match, because there are some times that you watch this on something on demand and it's just like, why am I going to pause it? You just get up anyways.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
that's the
like
thing. I was
even-
watching it live, and like I'm kind of like passing in and out of sleep, anyways, because it was a long weekend, and of course there were some libations going on, and yeah,
Why
I
not?
just hey man, I stocked up. I got my Sam Adams. I was good to go. Good to go. And I don't know. Wendy Cho's not really been impressing me with her character lately, and it's just, I don't really care. And I think Kalani Jordan is talented. I think they both are, but it's just it wasn't doing it for me. But I came back, like I said, I went to the bathroom, slapped myself a few times to wake myself up, and came back to a really good fucking match. So I think both are incredibly talented. Just wasn't a match I was really interested in that much. But like I said, they surprised me.
Yeah. That just shows the impressive depth of that women's division. And it's not just, again, it's only going to get stronger considering the fact of who debuted later on in the night. But it's just, how many of these women are just going to elevate? It just get elevated now. And it's, this is also the test in the water, because if they're able to get this title belt over, that means that the mid-card women's division is going to get, for WWE, is going to get a shot at this now.
Yep.
Because, it's, and I feel like that this is definitely a project of love, because they know they have so many women in that pipeline right now of just like, we need to be given to get this over. And of course, there's going to be some people out there that are just going to be like, well, they're not the first company to have a mid-card women's championship. Yeah, but this one actually matters. So.
I'm not going to take debate. You just fucking keep throwing that fucking line out, trying to catch me.
I haven't done anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you are so full of shit. The next match for the NXT.
That's a bad word.
All right, fine.
That's a bad word.
All right, so the next match was the Men's North American Championship. Champion Obafemi taking on Tony D'Angelo with Channing, Stax Lorenzo,
Hey.
Luca Cristofino, and Adriana Rizzo at ringside.
Tony Stacks, or as I call him, Christopher Maltasante.
I know, man. I know. Every time I see him, I look at that fucking nose and I'm like, you are Christopher Maltasante.
It's Christopher Maltasante. It's literally Christopher Maltasante is a wrestler.
I did
And he should, every fucking promo now, all he should do is just study like lions. I don't know, T. I think I'd be pretty good at male modeling. Like just little shit.
I know, man. I'm telling you, I want him to just drop a I didn't.
I didn't.
I don't know, T. So
It's called Money in the Bank, T. Anytime
uh,
you get you get this briefcase and get to challenge anybody within a year period, it's foolproof.
gotta tell you, T, I take it as an insult.
Who would be Adrian?
Fucking Paulie, that guy.
Fucking Paulie, the piece of shit. Who's welfare check? You got a cash? You get a fucking burger around here.
Hey, Ma, can you make me a peanut butter and fluff like you used to? Don't you have your own fucking house? Get that fuck out of here. Jesus. Who would be who? What would you say?
One of my favorite Christopher moments was when Adriana said to him, was just like, you told her she had a nice ass. And he's just like, I was trying to be nice. She's your friend.
Nah, see, you know what? You know what gets me every time? You know what gets me every time is when he kills the dog.
Oh, no.
It's just, it always gets me. I can't help but fucking laugh. Oh, maybe she got in there for warmth. Like, no, you fucking sat on it, you idiot. Ugh.
You're high as shit, dude.
Ruined! Hi, Christopher!
God. That was it. Poor Tony. Anytime I see him, I'm just going to be like, hey, it's Christopher Moltisanti. His whole career, it's just
It's
that's how he
so
references
hard
them too.
to take them seriously because of it, too. Because
And
it's so, like, just so... I can't even say it and be PC, so I'm just gonna shut my trap. But it's just I can't take them seriously.
It's just I you know what though? It's like I look at those guys and I'm just like, you can make this work. Like it's just you're making this. You can make this work. Like you can. This can be like Enzo and fucking Big Cass. Except I feel like with for some reason though, I look at Stacks and I'm just like, no, you could pull this shit off as like Moltisanti. It'd be fucking hilarious. Like the whole, just everything, every little aspect of it. Of just.
I did that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm late.
Jesus. Yeah,
He comes.
I can't take him seriously. I just can't do
His
it.
nose is a fucking canopy. What the fuck is this?
Oh my god.
Hey, Tone, he's in for like $40 as his eating.
Ah, shit.
Who knew the T1000's most brutal flaw was fucking poker? Why don't you stop, you fucking moron? Oh my god.
He said you okayed it, Tone.
Jesus Christ. Come for wrestling and Sopranos quotes, everybody.
What was it that Jackie Jr. said about the Chris? It was the only line that Jackie ever said that made me fucking pop, and I hated that motherfucker. But he said something about his shoes. He's just like he's something with shoes. It escapes me, but it was the only line that Jackie, and I was just like, I was good. Everything else you've done has been shit, but that was good.
Yeah, I hated that kid as a character, man.
How the fuck do you get Vito to get the drop on you? You don't hear that guy coming? Jesus, you must be deaf. Especially Fat Vito. Like, how do you not know he's, and it was the worst fucking pistol too. Like, God, you think you would have something bigger on that one. At least something with a silencer on it. It's just like this little fucking ping. God, that gun that John Malkovich had in line of fire, I felt like had more power. That was made of fucking plastic.
God. Yeah.
Who would have thought Dan would have made a goddamn in the line of fire reference?
Oh man.
Yes, let's continue. I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good. You're good. I'm actually trying to find the quote right now because I remember what you were talking about. I can't fucking find it.
This is what happens.
I know. This is exactly what happens. I'm mad I can't remember it either too, if anything. Because that shit's like on in my house all the time. Just there's a bunch of shows Kelly rewatches all the time, and that's
It was
one
the
of them.
pizza parlor scene. I remember that. He
It
just
was
said
the pizza
something
scene,
Like
yeah.
I'm just like, oh God, don't disrespect the pizza parlor. Like, what the fuck?
I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I can't be seen here anymore. Fucking shut up, Christopher. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I really can't be seen in a place like this anymore. It's all about logistics. I'm literally like writing out Jackie Jr. talking about Christopher's shoes, and it's just not giving me anything.
You know, the only time, you know, we saw early on why Uncle June said that Tony did not have the making of a varsity athlete, because he couldn't get Brendan over that fucking second. He only got him past the first table. Like, if he had any varsity in him, he may have been able to get him off of the second one. Like, God damn it. That's still one of the best fucking. That still makes me laugh. Just the first episode, he's sitting there. Jackie's under Kimosabi.
Yeah.
Open the fucking door.
Oh my god, I know. So fucking bad. Like, holy shit, really?
Open the fucking door. What? Open the fucking door.
Alright. Alright, hold on.
I'm going to talk him down to about 10.
Yeah.
So what is he going to do? He's going to take $5,000 for himself. Of course he is.
Yeah, of course he is. No fucking shit.
That was the fucking first thing he did. He just took $5,000.
Oh my god, shit. Hold on a second. I want to see if this is it. I'm not going to play the audio, obviously, but I want to see if I could fucking hear it enough to see what he fucking says. Because I remember the fucking quote, and it made me crack, too. Because it's like,
It's the
Jackie
only time.
Jr. sucked. Like,
He's so
he
bad.
sucked. He just...
It did give one of the best Tony lines, though, too. You bottomed out.
You bottomed down, yeah. Yep.
Fucking.
Yep. You know, I have to say this because I'm trying to get to a part of the scene where I can obviously fucking see it, but when he pulls up, I don't think I ever realized the fucking name of the pizza place was fucking Ufa. Like OOH-FA. Ufa. I never fucking noticed that until now. I've seen this show so many fucking times, I don't think I ever noticed that. Like, of all the fucking things you can name your Italian fucking pizzeria, fucking Ufa.
That's Jersey.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. I want to see if I can turn the freaking captions on. Yep, alright, there we go. Alright, hold on. I think he fucking says it right here. Hold on a second. He's a zero with shoes. That's what he fucking says.
Okay.
Take away Tony Soprano. He's a zero with shoes.
He's not wrong.
He's not. But he's wearing a straight now. My Uncle Richie was gonna get what he never did.
Yeah, but he never did. He had fucking 2 bullets from fucking Janice.
I love his fucking reaction fucking when Janice pulls the gun on him too. It's just like, don't start with me.
Oh, he did not expect that.
No, he fucking didn't. But it's the fucking humor of like, don't fucking start with me.
My
I was
favorite
like, damn.
reaction was Tony walking in on that. Tony, when she calls him up and he's just like, what the fuck she want from me now? And he's expecting that Richie lets him, and he just finds it dead in the fucking floor. He's just like,
I think he was kind of relieved too. Like, fuck,
He
well,
was
that solves
like,
my
"Oh, I
problem.
don't have to do this."
Yeah. Oh man,
Uh,
if only that was the case with Ralphie.
Yes. She could have gotten him.
Oh, she could have. Yeah,
she came close.
she did.
All he had to do is break his neck falling down the stairs. It would have been like, she calls up Tony and Tony gets to the house again.
That would have been so fucking great too. Like, man, just keep solving my problems without meaning to. Oh my god.
He just called Janice the Widowmaker. Like,
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
again.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
If only he got her to if only he got her to Phil Leotardo, it would have been all right.
Yeah.
Where were you then, Janice?
She would have loved it too after fucking Bobby died. Shit.
Oh yeah. That would have been smart.
Yeah. Janice, you're going to Long Island. They don't know you there.
They don't know you.
Oh shit. Anyway, Obafemi retains the men's North American Championship. The next match is for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez defeats Jada Parker.
Yes. And
then
no one gave a shit after that match. It was like, wait, what happened? Oh shit, she's here.
Yep. Finally got the debut of Juliana, who is a Stardom star that WWE signed months ago. Apparently got injured in that meantime. She's finally here, finally ready to go. She also had a face down with Roxanne on Tuesday at NXT tapings too. So seems like they're gonna start that feud pretty quick.
I heard that's going to be the match for the debut on the CW,
I heard the same.
and which they'll be in Chicago for that. So of course CM Punk will be there.
Of course.
He's pretty much all but confirmed it. That's going to be a big night. And,
He loves going down there, though, man.
Oh, he loves it. It's because I'm sure he walks around and he's just like, wow, everybody's cool here. Like,
What's up,
everybody's
young
not
people?
an asshole.
Yeah, he's that one old guy that
The
fucking
Steve-
goes, like,
the
"What's
Steve
up, young people?"
But the problem, well, it's not a problem. But the thing is that all the guys and girls that got into this industry, he was one of the reasons they got in.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Like, it was so funny how that kind of worked out. How Punk was kind of the generation where he was influenced by the Steve Austins, the Bret Harts, the Roddy Pipers, and the Shawn Michaels. And now we're in a phase of where everybody's kind of influenced by like CM Punk, John Cena, and others, and Randy Orton, Triple H. And so they're all kind of now picking up on getting knowledge from the guy, their hero. And so, of course, they're going to want him kind of around. So it's a match made in heaven for both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think this is the way to go. You start her in a match with Roxanne, you get her acclimated to the WWE style, and honestly, I think she's not even going to be there a year before she gets called up to the main roster.
Probably. You might see her after Mania.
Yeah. Yeah. If not, I would argue probably even before, but the before is the Royal Rumble. I would not be surprised to see her at the Rumble before an official call up later in the year. But again, speculating, I think it's a great signing for them. Let's see when Stephanie Vaquara is there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a match between the two of them before they both go to the main roster at some point next year.
Yeah, that could be the changing of the guard, and then the other one goes up.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So
So the last match for the NXT Championship. Champion All Ego Ethan Page against We Believe in Joe Hendry. with Trick
Not
Williams.
me.
Yeah, not Dan apparently. With Trick Williams, as special guest referee as well, which I thought would have played out a little bit better, but not because of Pete Dunne. Not
No.
because of him, but, apparently Pete Dunne just likes to show up at places and just start fights with people. It's apparently what the Bruiserweight does now.
Peter Dune.
Peter Dunne, Peter Dunne.
It's all that Peter Dune's fault.
I got nothing.
It's still one of my favorite things of Kyler O'Reilly ever. Because that was his comeback to him. He's just like, "You're Peter Dune," and it's just, to me, it's fucking hilarious, and it's so stupid at the same time because all he's doing is just he's just mispronouncing his name but doing it in a fucking hilarious way.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm starting to hate him again.
Peter Dune.
Yeah, I didn't like him as Butch. He started to grow on me, and then they brought back that awful singlet he wears. Jesus Christ, get rid of that thing. Just fucking burn it already. And then, it was him and New Catch Republic, and I enjoyed that when he was in that tag team. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, no, he's back to his single star. He's picking a fight with Sheamus, which, okay, there's history there. I get it. He renamed you Butch, and you fucking didn't like that. Okay, cool, whatever. And then you just keep attacking him, and I don't really seem to understand why, even though you hit him with a shillelagh this week. All right, cool. And then you're down in NXT and interfering in the main event, and I don't like you again. I don't like you again. Like, you annoy me. You bore me. Your singlet sucks. I don't know. Yeah, his singlet sucks.
That's a first that I've heard someone hate somebody because of a singlet.
It sucks. Dan, it's a shit-stained brown singlet. I'm sorry. It sucks. It just fucking blows. That's the only reason to hate him. I think he's just... I don't know. Like, dude, he's got some good moves. Don't get me wrong. I like the joint manipulation stuff, but... He's like... I hate to make this comparison, and I promise not to go there, but I'm going to go there anyways. He's like Ricochet to me. He's entertaining to watch, but there's like, this drip of charisma that's actually draining from his body because it's not engaging to me at all. At least Ricochet was fun to watch. Pete Dunne is not even fun to watch for me anymore. It's just, he's like that other guy, like, cool. You're a good jobber, but other than that, I don't care. And now he's in that stupid Intercontinental Fatal 4-Way challenge, whatever the hell they're calling it. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm sick of the Fatal 4-Way challenges to, ascertain a number one contender in the first place. Sorry, you gotta get away from that shit. It's just not all that engaging. And adding Pete Dunne just to me is like, okay, cool. I hope you eat the pen. Like, I just don't care. And then you're singlet is shit brown. Like, you have everything going against you. I'm sorry if you're a Pete Dunne fan. I don't
Bruiserweight.
Yeah, I don't like him. The coolest thing is that name, the Bruiserweight. That's the coolest thing about Peter Dunne. Sorry,
I don't hate him. Like, that's the thing. I don't hate him. I don't dislike him. But I guess at the same time, I'm like, yeah, he's all right.
It's like that Chandler Bing gif I sent you earlier about something else unrelated to this topic.
I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, that's how I feel about Pete Dunne. I don't hate him. Listen, he's obviously talented. I just don't care. Anyways,
it's funny because we were talking about football, and
well,
in that
to
conversation,
clarify, we were talking about somebody being at tonight's game between the Chiefs and fuck they're playing, but yeah,
I think the Ravens.
Yeah, you're right, the Ravens.
I could give a shit this year.
Okay, so I don't
I
feel
have
so
been
bad
like
for
that
saying
for
it.
years.
I don't
No,
feel
'cause
so
it's
bad
true.
for fucking saying it.
No, it's true. Look, it's just I don't care. Like I just don't. My mind is. The problem is that I committed for so long, every fucking year, every Sunday. I need to live a life and experience other shit. And I understand everybody's like, well, it's only 18 weeks. I love the fall.
Hold on.
Like, I love the winter. I like to
Hold
go
on.
out.
Hold on. So let's backtrack just for a second. When you and I were growing up, it was 1 to 2 days a week, if you
Yes.
include Monday Night Football, which some games of Monday Night Football are hit or miss. You don't care
Yes.
as much. Now it's like fucking 3-4 days,
Yeah, I know.
and that takes up more fucking time.
Yes.
And now, also, you need how many fucking streaming platforms to catch some of these games? You need fucking Amazon. You need fucking probably what was the other one? Not Paramount. Peacock,
Paramount.
I think.
Peacock, yes. They have tonight's game. I think
Yeah.
they have tomorrow's game, which they have a Friday night. Like,
Yeah, you need.
I was stunned about when I'm like, wait a minute, they have a Friday night game this year?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
What?
yeah. And I know people are like, oh, well, wrestling is this many days. It's like, yeah, for like 2 to 3 hours at most.
Yeah.
If these games go into fucking overtime, we're talking 4 to 5 hours.
It's just
And that many days a week, like I just said. I can't commit anymore.
I can't.
Listen, you and I have been friends for, as you started in the opening of this show, over 20 years at this point. We've been watching football way longer than even our friendship.
Yes.
And we've watched it every single year.
Yes.
I just feel like lately, the past couple of years, the product has not been as good. And the presentation of the product sometimes has not been good. And, like, because I know there could be people out there that are listening to this that probably know us at least somewhat well. Like, oh, you guys aren't going to watch because the Patriots suck this year.
No,
I just don't care. I'm not engaged anymore.
I'm not. I'm checked out. I've been
Yeah.
checked out of the NFL. I was starting to wane even towards the tail end of the Patriots dynasty. Like I
The last 2
cared-
years he was here, yeah, 100%.
the last year after we won Super Bowl 53, it was like I feel like I've had my fill. It's like I don't know any else. I don't know how it could get higher than this. I had a gut feeling he was leaving the next year. I just had it. I was just like, I think he's gone. I thought at one point, I was like, we lucky we had him even like, because I thought he could have left in like 2010, 2011.
I didn't
at
think
certain
that, but
points.
like 13, 15 in that
Yeah.
time period, I thought so. And then honestly, 18, 19, because of that year that lives in infamy. I thought maybe he's just like, all right, fuck it. Like, that's as close as I'm going to get. But he stayed. And I'm incredibly thankful for that, obviously. But even at the end, as you mentioned, like the last year, maybe 2 years, for me, I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I've gotten everything out of this sport that I could hope for. We went
it
from
was like-
0 to being tied for the most wins in a Super Bowl. And just go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry,
No,
because
go
I
ahead.
just thought about it because it's like after Super Bowl 51, after that 25-point comeback, it was just like, okay, I've seen everything.
Yeah.
It can't get any higher than this. Like it can't. Like there's not another feeling in sports that's going to be able to hit me like that did. Because I put that on like the same euphoria of 04 because, well, in 2002 when they first won the title, and then of course the euphoria with the Malcolm Butler interception a few years earlier.
Yep.
Because Brady finally got his fourth. He's tied with Montana. Super Bowl 51, it was just like, all right, he just won his fifth. He passed Montana. And we just came back from 25 points down. It can't get any higher. I don't think it ever will. It's just, the Celtics won the championship this year, which I celebrated and I was very happy about it. But at the same time, it was just like, it was subdued because it's like, I've been down this road. I've seen it all. Like, it's hard for me to kind of commit like full time, like again, like everybody, like I could do in my 20s and my parts of my 30s. It's just hard now. And it's hard for me to still kind of commit my time to wrestling at certain points.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I catch every PLE I can. And even if other companies end up on streaming services that maybe we talk negatively about on this program quite a bit, if they end up on a certain streaming service on there for their pay-per-views and they don't do pay-per-views anymore, I probably will be watching them more because, well, I subscribe, might as well. Like, that's the way I look at it. It's just like, okay, sure. Like, if I don't have to pay for it, great. And because that's kind of how I feel. It's like I'm not paying $40 to $50 anymore for a monthly show, which that era sucked. God.
Yeah.
Especially living at home. You're having to cut a check to your parents every month for fucking $50 in a cable bill. You're like, God damn it. That show sucked too. Like,
Yeah, man.
you're just swearing at it. You're just like, that fucking show sucked. Now I gotta pay for it. God damn it.
It's so tough. It really is, because like I said, I've been a fan of football, God, longer than I can remember. And, I remember, because I know everybody's a fan of something, and I know everybody catches everything at times, or only their team's games. I know there's people that shell out the money for all this, and for NFL Game Pass on YouTube, which is like, God, like 400 something bucks, I think, to watch every single game.
Yeah, I mean, but
I just
again,
can't do
it's
it.
just for fucking 4 months.
I mean, there's that
Like-
too. There's that aspect of it, but I mean, you're not wrong either. But like, the whole thing for me is like, I can't justify it anymore,
I can't.
because it's not just the money; it's the time. I can't invest in it. And I remember going back like years ago, even like 3 or 4 years ago in some cases. I might not watch every game, but I'm watching every playoff game. I'm watching the Super Bowl, watching what I can. I'm watching highlights.
Right.
And like, there are people out there, man, that are watching every game and also doing fantasy football. And I'm like, I don't have the mental capacity to do all that anymore. I just can't. And it's such a time sink in some cases, because you look at, like I said, that fantasy football aspect, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'll watch this. And then I'll watch this game because my player is playing in that game against this guy on fantasy football. And like, my O line is, whatever, if you go that, granular into fantasy football, which some people do. I remember one of the roommates in college, you probably remember it too, where he had like, not for the NFL, but for college, he had like all these spreadsheets and shit.
I know.
And
That
I'm
was
like, damn. Like,
I was thinking to myself too. I'm like, why don't you have a job?
Yeah.
Working for somebody, not just either a recruiter or like somewhere, especially now with analytics, he would have been perfect.
yeah, man, he would have been like the best scout.
The funny part is, it's just like, dude, you were right down the road from Foxborough. Bill would kill for a guy like you.
Yeah. All the
Like,
analytical data that he would have
He
provided to
could have
him.
walked
Jesus.
in the door at Patriots Place and said, I need to talk to Bill Belichick. and he would have just had to show him 6 spreadsheets, and Bill would have finally said, I'm going to pay you shit, but do you want a job?
No, Bill would have said, okay, cool, we can stop getting guys from Rutgers then.
Exactly.
Anyways, yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't have the time. I just don't. And like, there's so many things I want to fucking do with my time than devote 4 to 12 hours on a Sunday just to football. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing.
No! I just thought about the orange juice.
Was it orange? Oh yeah, it was orange juice. Jesus.
Oh shit!
Oh my god. I feel, you know what? we really gotta get that other show off the ground because of shit like that. So spoiler alert for our new show on Diamond Podcasting Productions YouTube channel. It's just a comedy show where we go through fucking stories that happen to us. This one, I'll give you the freebie now. So Dan and I went to college together, for those that don't know. Dan is a year ahead of me. Just the way the birthdays work and how the legality of sending certain kids to school after certain birthdays in Massachusetts is why we were in different grades. So Dan being a year ahead of me, he had come back to visit our college while I was still there.
I was there every weekend.
Yeah, for a while, yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was there like every weekend.
So he's there with us. It's a weekend, I think. I don't.
Yep.
All kind of blurred together at that point. Okay.
Yep.
One of my roommates, we had one of those, larger sized mini fridges at the time. Every dorm had one, so it's not like we had to buy it or anything. And one of my roommates goes in to the mini fridge to grab something out. I don't know if it was the orange juice or if it was something else. The orange juice is on the side, shelf when you open the door. So it opens and it's on that shelf that's on the door, I should say, excuse me. And it proceeds to just fall onto the floor. We had carpeting too, so compounding the fact of just this is going to get soaked into the fucking carpet. Pick it up, whatever. Except my roommate just kind of sat there and goes, oh shit. And then just proceeded to stare at it for a solid 20 seconds before I go, clean it up? And then the realization dawned on him like, oh yeah, before he grabbed the paper towels to actually clean it up. And I know this story, I know the story is probably not that funny. It's more of a like you had to be there kind of story, I guess. But I just have to say, holy fucking shit, because again, there's that reaction of, oh shit. And then he just proceeds to fucking stare at it for a solid 20 seconds before finally being told to clean it up. And then that realization then dawned on him, oh shit, yeah, I should clean this up.
I just moved fast after that. Because he was just
because I yelled at him. Because I'm like, yeah, dude,
you were Damian Priest in Judgment Day in that fucking dorm.
I really was.
You were Damian
sad.
Priest in Judgment Day. You literally would just, oh my fuck, again. Oh, every fucking day with these assholes. Jesus
it fucking
Christ.
Really was. I remember. This is another thing that should also be on the show. You weren't here for this that I can remember, but I'm sure you heard this story. So I was dating somebody at the time throughout the year. We had our differences. I'm just going to kind of say it that way. But we were dating pretty much most of the year. Some cases was on and off, but we were dating the whole time. And one of my roommates was picking a fight with somebody in the room.
Who ran?
Just picking a fight. And I'm trying to, enjoy my time with my, at the time, girlfriend, obviously. No longer together, but, at the time. And they just are going back and forth about what I can only surmount as the dumbest shit alive, because I don't remember. And truthfully, all of their arguments the dumbest shit alive. So I remember just, kind of yelling at them like, shut the fuck up! Essentially.
That's a
It was
bad word.
probably a little bit different than how I phrased it, and obviously in a much different tone. I'm trying to be quiet because it's late at night right now. And so this person, who is not my roommate,
Who ran?
just kind of says, okay, I'll talk to you later. He understood, totally understood why I got pissed off. And he, said bye and he left. My other roommate, however,
Gotta give him
is,
credit for being the bigger person that time.
I mean, he was the one the bigger person because I fucking screamed at both of them, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, but he took it like a champ. Was just like, yeah, you're right. Nah, I'm out of here.
Well, I feel like you know the context of the situation more than I'm actually willing to elaborate on in this moment.
Yes.
Just, keeping all things PG, as it were. However, you can read between the lines when I say that, just saying. My other roommate, though, if you remember Dan, his desk was like right behind the door,
Yes.
essentially. He's sitting at his desk and I can hear him mumble something. And I'm like, and I'm still mad. And this person who had just left
Who ran?
had only left the room maybe like less than a minute before he is mumbling. So I'm still mad. I'm still pretty hot under the collar. And I have absolutely zero hesitation to go, what the fuck did you just say? Because I'm still pissed off. You shouldn't have yelled at me like that. I'm like, and you shouldn't fucking argue with somebody like that,
Who ran?
even if it is him. Just shut the fuck up. And I don't think my roommate talked to me for a solid week plus after that.
So it really was a public service.
It was indeed a
You know,
public
like,
service.
you're
And
just
then I
like-
believe it wasn't long after that somebody gave him a protein shake that he probably enjoyed a little bit too much. But, that's also-
hey, so we're talking about NXT No Mercy.
Hey, I said what I said, and I was fucking done with the conversation. So, yes, let's talk about the main event between Joe Hendry and All Ego Ethan Page.
Yes, fucking asshole. Turn around is fair play, I guess. In this day and age, folks. Maybe we'll get to that story someday. Maybe we won't.
No, we'll get to it on the other show, I'm sure.
I don't want to be canceled.
We will have to change the names to protect the innocent, but we will talk about that, I'm sure, at some point.
I hated him so much. I'll admit though that in this day and age, I don't really hate people now. Like I don't have really, I think, hatred towards most
That
people.
guy is a dope, okay?
He's adult. I don't like him. And I think he's a dummy. But I don't hate him.
This
I don't
guy was
really
also on
hate him.
Rogaine at like 19, so what the fuck ever, man.
His hair was terrible. He kind of reminds me of
Worst comb over ever.
you ever see The Bear, that fucking show with the guy who's the cook? He was also in Shameless.
I don't know
He
what
reminds
the
me
fuck
of
you're
that
talking
guy.
about. What are you talking about?
You ever see the
Bear?
movie, the show The Bear,
No.
or Shameless?
I've seen Shameless. I haven't watched a lot of episodes of it, though.
What one of the characters? He's a very famous actor now.
Okay.
He reminds me of this dude that we went to school with. Like the same hair, the look, the body type. I'm just like, I hate his face. I think he was also in. He was also in The Iron Claw. I forgot who he played. He didn't play Kevin though because he was
I didn't.
Zac Efron.
I still haven't been able to watch it either. So.
That
Oh
is
my
still-
god! He does look like him.
Yes.
Holy shit!
Yeah. It's very hard for me to. I would look at him and I'm just like, oh god, he reminds me of this asshole. Because
Holy
he's so good. He's a great
crap.
actor.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
But holy
I
shit, it
just-
looks just like him.
I'm just like I look at his face and
One
I
of
look
these-
at the way he
yeah.
was.
One of these pictures has him with like thinner hair because like
Yeah.
otherwise he almost looks like he has hair like you kind of.
Yeah.
A little bit like the curliness I mean.
Yeah.
But one of the pictures it's like thinned out and everything and it looks exactly like him. Like
Yep.
holy shit.
Yep.
Holy shit.
It's just dead set, dead. So every time I see that guy, I just see him. I'm just like, I want to punch him in the face. Because Because it's just but at the same time, again, it's not out of hatred. It's just like he just annoyed the piss out of me. He just and I'm one of those people that
It took
I
a
don't
lot
hate-
to get us there.
it took a very long time because I thought he was okay at first. Then you get to know him and you're just like, ah.
It's it's funny because this person we still talk to,
Ooh,
not
man.
him, but that one. Saying it that way for a second because I think everybody kind of knows. But he we were having a conversation, ironically enough, WWE related. We were talking about the new commentary on Raw, Joe Tessitore, and this person called him a charisma sponge.
Good line.
It is.
It's
and
a great line.
It is. But you know what's funny is now thinking about the other person that was my roommate at the time. Man, he was a charisma sponge too. He fucking was.
So you know what? I got to give him credit now for the vernacular that we've added to this vocabulary of this program.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's like, okay, great. Now I gotta come to you and be like, all right, you get a credit. I'll
Yep.
give you a burger. Here you go.
Ooh, man.
For using that line, I owe him a burger, I guess. I gotta be like, here.
Hey Dan.
You earned it.
Dan, you want a burger?
You know how weird
Fuck.
do you know how weird Sunday was? When I'm going to the game with my mother, and all of a sudden he sends me that text, and I'm just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
As soon as he sent it, you had already sent the other one to the other person and I.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy fuck, you're both there.
I'm like, dude, I am at the game.
Yeah.
I will and I saw him for about a half hour, and I was just like, holy shit. Small world.
Yeah, that's
and it just of just how things work out.
Was he there
And
with
then-
anybody?
He was there with his folks because I guess his dad.
so funny.
Yeah, his dad's company had
Probably got
something
tickets,
going on
yeah.
there. Yeah, and
gotcha.
and of course they had the drinking tickets, so they were just like, okay.
Tossing them back. Tossing them back. Yeah.
Oh God, that was a really fun game. They were down, I think, like 5-3 in the seventh, and then somebody hit a grand slam
Oh, nice.
in the bottom of the inning, and then in the eighth, somebody hit a 3-run homer. So they really they came back. I was able to watch the whole game, which was surprising because usually when I go with people, there's always someone. Not going to say who, Dad, but
Ooh,
it's
man.
like the seventh inning. Hey, you want to get going? It's like, oh, come on. Seventh inning guys, sometimes you're just like, oh, God. But I was able to watch the whole game, which was fun. But yeah, it's an interesting experience. I wish it was in Boston. Well, excuse me. I wish the Worcester Red Sox was around 20 years ago when I was in college, because I would have never went to class.
Yeah,
I would
I
have
was gonna
spent
say,
all
man.
my money at that fucking ballpark, because I would have just between April and May, the last month, it would just be like, I'm going there. Of course, too, it might have changed your trajectory wise, because at that point I would have been like, I have an in, because now I'm just going to go apply to the fucking team and see if I can go work there.
Yeah.
And that could have been an interesting trajectory. But at the same time, it's like, I'm glad they're there now. It's fun. It's a nice experience. Get the helmets, get the nachos in a helmet if you can. Also, they have ice cream in helmets. Steph was happy because now she has a new soup bowl and 2 ice cream bowls, which is hilarious.
Oh, man.
It's like, but you hate the Red Sox. She's like, yes, but these are,
Not the Red
These will
Sox per
come in
se. Yeah, exactly.
it's like, okay. I God, we have veered so off course tonight.
Yeah.
People are just going to be like, what has happened again? Where are they talking about now?
It's oh my god. I feel like the stories of the roommates is always a treat. Always a treat. I had some roommates in college, man. I'll just say it that way.
And I got to a point, I think, after my first year when I had like two terrible roommates back to back. And I pretty much just looked at them and said, I am getting a single room for the rest of my college career. And luckily, that was what the case was. I had suite mates, but I never had a college roommate after my first year.
I remember the second year I was there that you were gone, that one of my former roommates had like a single, and he tried to like always keep his door open like he did when we were in the original room our first year when we roomed together. I'm just like, dude, you're in a single now. Why the fuck is your door open? Like, if you want to live alone, live alone. I never really understood it. Like somebody can't knock on your door. It's like, come on, bro. But you know, pictures were sent, things were said. I don't know. I don't know. But how about WWE no longer believing in Joe Hendry? I guess we'll get it
For now.
for now.
For now.
Until he signs with them officially.
Exactly. He'll be, but it's like
He's over.
He's over.
He's
shit.
fucking over. They're gonna sign him. Let's be realistic. He's
Still
already
my-
talked about this whole deal he has to work at the performance center while working for TNI, and obviously
still
he was
created.
yeah.
My favorite meme right now is still like, I believe not me. That's my favorite fucking meme.
That
right
is a
now.
good one.
It's just Homer Simpson just shitting on him like not me. Fuck you.
It just works on so many levels too, especially because it's fucking Homer Simpson, of course. It just works. It just fucking works.
Shut up, Flanders.
I mean, listen. Ethan Page was there 2 months after re-signing with WWE, having left that other place, and is the NXT champion. And listen, Joe Hendry is still signed with TNA. There's obviously a lot you could say there. No TNA talent has come in currently to defeat a champion. Whether that be Jordan Grace, whether that be Joe Hendry, it just hasn't happened. Not to say it can't happen, though. It's not. We'll have to see what happens. But like I said, even if it doesn't happen, Joe Hendry's going to be in WWE soon anyways, I feel like. So that is what it is.
And so is Jordan
pay him.
Grace.
Yeah, and so is Jordan Grace. 100%.
It's like it's like NXT is supposed to be our developmental program, and then Triple H looks at TNA and he's just like, what about them?
How about we develop them and then we sign them, we steal them. We print the money for us instead of for them.
Look, all I'm saying is that we work with them, and then we take what we want because that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah, but Triple H, we already have a developmental program. But, we just borrow some of their talent. But we have a developmental program. We have enough people. We just borrow some of their talent. Okay. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Who are you going to
don't really have to pay them. We'll pay them a little bit, but we make TNA pick up the check.
It's split right down the middle. Like our budget will be softer.
Softer.
It's like, you know what? This could actually work. Fuck it. And then meanwhile, it's just like somebody's like, it's literally that meme. It's just like Triple H is just at the head of the table, and he's just like, all right, guys, what companies other than TNA should we work with? How about New Japan? How about Noah? How about, and then someone says those dreaded 3 letters and immediately gets ejected from the fucking conference room out the fucking window. You fucking prick. There is no goddamn way of that happening. We will never work with them.
Man.
We will buy them,
You know,
but we will never work with them.
I always wondered why Shane went to AEW. Now I know why, because he was that guy that got thrown out the window.
He was that guy that got, yes, and you're right. It's exactly
was.
Shane McMahon.
It was.
That was Shane McMahon. That's also probably why last night they ended their show with a burning house, because they were just like, "Oh, this is writing, isn't it?" Christ.
It's called foreshadowing, Tony. You should maybe learn how to do it in your storylines, Tony.
How do you light a house? How is it supposed to be? Swerve Strickland's house, when it didn't have a porch, and then the house that you light on fire had a fucking front porch. I might be visually
It's
impaired.
cool, Danny's taking it back.
I am visually impaired. Oh my God.
I don't know what's funnier, the visually impaired comment or the fact that you got what I said. That's making you crack a little bit right now.
There's a term in life called corpsing, and I'm at that point.
Yeah.
You fuck.
Sorry.
Because, and the best part is, it's like
Nobody can actually say what I'm
No.
talking about.
no,
Except
no,
you.
no.
Because you understood the reference,
I
number
understood the
one, and
reference.
because you know me well enough to know,
And I know you well
the
enough to
reference
know.
I'm actually making.
Yep. And I'm like, good, because now because no one will ever know. Like, that's the thing. It's
They're
just
gonna
like,
know. They're not
they're
gonna
gonna
know.
know.
They're gonna know.
They're gonna know, but they're not gonna know, and that's the brilliant part about this. It's some elaborate plan.
So
in the
go
end.
on social media and try to figure out what I said, and maybe I'll
Exactly.
respond. Maybe
Oh,
I'll
type
respond.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
just-
god.
It's literally, they'll just be like, drink more Ovaltine? Like,
More Ovaltine, please.
stupid fucking Ralphie. How do you feel like now, huh? You had to listen all that fucking time, get the stupid decoder.
Oh god.
How do you like your pink fucking bunny outfit? Jesus.
Oh god. Yeah. This has been a show. Oh, I don't even know what to say anymore.
Somebody's going to listen to this and they're just going to be like, what the fuck just happened? This thing-
I feel like, somebody's going to listen to this show at some point over the next few days and just be like, how high are you guys when you do this show? And I'm just going to say, yes, please. Because that's the only comment to make.
The only thing I can think of right now is John is smiling.
Yes, he
'Cause
is.
I know he is
He's
smiling right
absolutely
now.
fucking
And
smiling.
he is laughing his
He's
balls
just
off.
sitting up there
He's
right now,
just
just golf clapping.
You fucking idiots.
Yep.
Like, he's just laughing hysterically because he knows. And I'm just like, oh, and it's just, I watched a clip the other day because we were talking about the Ultimate Warrior, and I made a comment of just how like the Ultimate Warrior is a bologna sandwich because after 7 minutes it's garbage, and it was so funny to see him laugh. He was just like, it's just why? Because I'm right.
Oh my god. It so fucking is.
It's just because a bologna sandwich, you don't know exactly what's in the bologna. Like, you don't. So that's the Warrior, in my opinion. You don't exactly know what you're getting. And it's probably shit, but you don't know what it's getting.
The Ultimate
And-
Warrior is like a box of chocolates.
It really
You
is.
never know what you're gonna get.
It really is. And then he's probably going to come to you at the end and be like, I want 250,000 more. It's like, fuck you. Like,
I'll take it a step further. Okay. I don't disagree with the bologna sandwich. analogy at all, but the Ultimate Warrior is like getting a beer at Fenway Park.
Oh my god!
It's hit or miss, and it might be flat very quick.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
And it's overpaid. And it's overpaid.
Fuck. It's like this isn't even going to last 90 seconds. Neither is he.
Neither is he. It's like, I think the tap is broken. No shit.
No, really? Son of a bitch.
I think we need more ice over here. No
Yeah.
shit.
Exactly.
Uh,
Oh, of course, if you would have told me 20 years ago, you're actually going to have Ultimate Warrior figures in your collection, and be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I would have smiled and nodded at you like, yeah, you are, bitch.
Yeah, because it
And then I'll
just,
tell you we didn't know any better.
you know what? It's his figures are fantastic because I like the gimmick, to be quite honest.
Yeah, the gimmick was solid.
The gimmick was solid.
Just not the guy.
He was an asshole. Fucking hated him. But
That's a bad word.
it's just
I know.
because I don't like his beliefs and just anything. But as a gimmick, I was okay with it. Like even his fucking rambling promos, I thought he sucked as a wrestler. I thought he was the worst.
I mean, if he didn't run to the fucking ring and gas himself on the way down, then maybe he would have been better.
well, but then there's other. Here's a comment that I'm going to make.
Oh,
That
shit.
it's historic,
Oh,
but I also feel like it's right. But you're right, but I'm right. But at the same time, you're like, fuck, you're right, and I don't want you to be right, but you're right. The Ultimate Warrior. I rank higher than Bill Goldberg.
do you want to know what my comment is to that?
What?
No fucking shit. At least fucking Warrior knew the goddamn business.
Yeah, it's
At least he knew how to not hurt people.
well, if he has Bobby Heenan,
I ain't asking Bobby Heenan shit, man.
yeah, he's dead.
Exactly. That's why I'm
But,
not
like-
asking him.
I
I-
mean, but
Listen, was he a good guy?
no,
No. Did he know the
No.
business though? Yeah.
yeah,
He kind of knew how to work a crowd. He also knew, if Scott Hall asked him in the middle of the ring, what are you doing? He'd probably have a better answer than, I don't know. I just, sorry, not sorry. Like, he knew the business better, excuse me. And, I don't need to fucking blame the Ultimate Warrior for ending Bret Hart's career either, for that
No.
matter. So there you
No.
go. There you fucking go.
no. Like, yeah, I could because I could look at Warrior.
Did
and
you
actually
really
say-
actually think I was going to disagree with you on this?
No, I didn't think
Okay,
you were.
I was going to say
I just
that,
thought.
'cause,
There's someone.
let me
out
be
there, though,
edgy
that would be
and put something out there that he's going to disagree with. Like, fuck. I hate
No.
Goldberg.
I thought someone. There'll be someone out there that's just like you have Warrior ranked higher than
Rare.
Goldberg. It's like, look, there are certain moments that I like Goldberg. When he beat Hogan
Listen,
at the Georgia
yeah.
Dome, yeah, of course.
I 100% agree, but holistically? No.
No.
Holistically, sample size, no. I'd rather Warrior.
He shouldn't have beat Hogan at 6, but still, like,
I mean, I feel like if they waited 2 years to 8, I think it would have been okay. Because then you build him up a little bit better.
you haven't beat Savage at 7.
Exactly. Yep.
He loses to Hogan at 6, but he wins at 7, and then he beats Hogan at 8.
Yes.
And then Hogan could go off,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
make that the retirement match.
Exactly.
You know what? That's long-term planning, good friend.
That's why, listen, real quick. That's why, as much as I hated the finish to 39, there was a long-term payoff at 40.
Absolutely.
And you could sit there, because I know there's people that will say it, like, oh, wow, it wasn't the original plan for 40. First of all, that's bullshit. It actually was. Then they changed their minds. Then injuries happened, and they changed their minds on this and everything else. I don't fucking hate that. So it was the original plan. They just backtracked on it before re-engaging in it because they saw the crowd reaction. And again, there's that long-term payoff regardless. Whether or not it was the plan the whole time, whether or not they changed their minds and everything else in between, that's not what matters. What matters is how it actually got booked and finished. That was the right move. That's long-term booking and storytelling. That's what they've needed and have been missing for the good part of the 20 teens, especially in the latter part of the 20 teens going into 2020. So, not for nothing. Fuck 'em. Just fuck 'em. That's what they should have done. I don't think he should have won at 6 either. I'm happy he did at the time as a kid because I liked the Warrior. I wanted the Warrior to win. I was, Hogan's winning every fucking year, every fucking event. As a kid, I'm just like, shit.
As
man.
he should.
As he should, and that's fair. That's fair. But I wanted to see something new, and I was right at the wrong time.
I mean, you think about it. Hogan losing to Tate. Let's say that he doesn't lose the title at 6. He held the title until November of 91 when Taker finally beats him. That also makes Taker that moment bigger because he just ended a 2.5-year reign instead of like 8 months. So, well, not 2.5 years would be, 2.5 years because he won it in April of 89. So, from that perspective, then it sets Taker up, and then for him to be able to feud with Warrior down the line, because that's unfinished business from the summer of 91. There's so many paths that you could go to had things worked out the way they did, because he asked for more fucking money. The steroid trial happens, so Hogan has to take his sabbatical. Does Ric Flair come in at a certain point that he does and tells the NWA to screw? So there's so many angles that this could go with, which actually probably would be a good future topic to talk about, which actually now gives me an idea for a later segment down the line.
Is it called missed opportunities too? Because I feel like we're getting into that point of, especially talking about 8 with missed opportunities.
Yeah, I think that probably is something we could do down the line. I actually think that's a pretty good segment, because there's going to be weeks shortly where there's not going to be much going on, and it's just like, hey, why don't we try this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why you got to watch us every week here on Pro Wrestling World Talks on Spotify. Yes, you can tell I'm tired when I'm like,
on all the things.
Yes, Pro Wrestling World Talks on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can get your podcasts at. And of course, here on Diamond Podcasting Productions on YouTube, which here on YouTube, we have been extremely busy lately with some original new content. We have more content coming out that we're planning. So again, if you're on Spotify and over on Apple Podcasts, you got to come to us, and that's here on YouTube under Diamond Podcasting Productions. And likewise, for Diamond Podcasting Production people, go over to Spotify or Apple or where you can get your podcasts at, because of the fact that we have exclusive things going on PWW Talks, including interviews, and also the scroll when we are able to do that as well. So be sure you like everything that we're doing these days, You listen to you or follow us on all of social. Instagram, Facebook. Also for follow to our blood check. Who just joined Instagram this week as well. That's a historic deal. Jesus Christ. That, which of course he calls InstaSpace, which to me is hilarious.
It's just great. I can't wait to follow that page and see the shit he comes up with, because I can only imagine. I literally know he's not going to do something like this, but I think it would be hilarious if he had like an Iron Sheik style account. Just straight up, just like speaking fucking nonsense, shitting on Tom Brady. I'd laugh my ass off. I think it'd be fucking hilarious.
What would be hilarious is if he's live reacting to like certain games and
fucking smacking his lips around and everything.
Yeah, it's just he's live reacting to certain games.
That was a bullshit penalty.
He's just
you know,
you just see all of a sudden a video of him and he's watching Robert Kraft and he just said, "This guy's a fucking asshole." Like,
it's fucking says throwing popcorn at the TV. Fuck you. Fuck you, Bobby.
Oh, I was the
Douchebag.
fucking problem. I didn't want to draft back Jones. Fuck you. Like,
give me my fucking job back. Fucking Gerard Mayo's making the team look like shit out there.
My God.
I just,
You know how hard that's going to be if he gets another job and we're dealing.
You know what, man? I think that your
Like
internet,
another fucking 6, even though I think that,
your internet
Of
is starting to
course.
shit out. Of course,
Well,
we're near the
why
end of
is
the
this- why
fucking
is-
show, and the
Yes.
internet's just like, screw you.
yes, my internet tonight it waited at least until now,
Yeah.
but it's pretty much just telling me also at the same time, I think we've had enough.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's a good time for me for us to all wrap this baby up.
I agree.
In a big, nice bow. Been an eventful evening.
As you cut out again.
As usual. So
No, it's been a trip. This was a good one. I will do the rest of the closeout because your internet is shitting the bed. Hope everybody had a great time listening. As Dan said before, make sure you follow us on all our social medias, all the places you can get your podcast.
thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
All,
Yes.
all of that, yep. Thank you. Have a nice night. Goodbye.